So our 100th Flight Ringers episode.
Big occasion. Should we wear tuxedos?
Yeah, definitely.
If it's going to be the 100th, have we done one that we're covering a big issue in?
It's 5 years later, annual number 1.
Oh, that's a big deal.
We recorded it over 2 days. There was just a ton of material. It's going to be probably 4 hours long. So fuck it.
We read it so you don't have to. You don't have to waste 30 minutes.
Yep.
You could just listen to us for 4 hours.
Yep. And they're out there. Okay. No, but back to the video.
Oh, sorry.
It's also going to be the first episode of our next season, 4th season.
We're up to season 4? Holy shit.
Been doing like 25 episodes and then switching to the next season.
No one does 25 episodes anymore. You do 6 and then you're on your next season.
All right. I guess I'll do that.
Yeah.
Just keep chipping away at it. But we got another season of videos coming up.
I'm going to have to push that hard on my socials.
Let's dig in. This is another episode of the Flight Ringers podcast. I'm David King. That's Dan Spottswood.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
We are professional cartoonists, and we are Legion of Superheroes experts.
Well, the apartment I lived in for at least like 10 years, like almost every year, it was at least $50 more a month.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was not a great apartment at all. But and then there's like, well, we're doing improvements. I'm like, the fucking what? I mean, we don't have AC here. It's hot as fuck.
Right.
Got this tiny little window unit. It doesn't do shit.
Yeah.
But it kind of worked out for us because eventually my wife was like, this is stupid. A house payment would cost this or maybe even a little less. And then it's going towards, something we own.
That's what my wife said to me too. It's like, this is what we have wives for.
Right. Common sense.
I'd be like, well, yeah, but we can move out anytime we wanted.
Right. But I'm comfortable here. Complacent.
That reminds me, I was reading some comic. It was a Commandy comic. Like, I got a big stack of these, like, the ones after Kirby left. There's this character in Commandy named Arna, who's from this race of people who only live for 5 years.
Oh shit!
They're born and they mature up to adulthood after like 1 year, and on they die when they're 5 years old, right?
Right.
And somehow, I think she maybe took Commandy's DNA and mixed it with her own and made a baby, right?
Oh.
And so, like the story come to like a head, and she was dying, right? She had aged. She's about to die, and they take her back to the colony that lives in a volcano. And she's like, Commandy, we had a child. And he didn't know about it, right?
Uh-huh.
And the way they wrote it was so crazy. He's like, I have a father? I got to get out of here. He's trying to run away. It's hilarious. And then he runs into the kid who's like his son. And he looks exactly
like 60 years old.
No, he looks exactly like Commandy. But he has black hair instead of blonde hair. And the kid's like, you were never there. He's trying to fight.
Shut up.
It's really ridiculous. But just like the panel where he's like, I can't stay here. Something like that. That's what he's saying.
I need to check this issue out. Deadbeat dad. That happens a lot in fictional stories, I've noticed. I think something like that happened to Starman, too, in the James Robinson run.
Where he...
Like the mist, like, drugged him, and he didn't realize that he had sired a child with her or something like that. They had to come up with these contrivances for the guy to be the unknowing victim in the situation.
Right, the victim of father.
I didn't even get any pussy. This is bullshit.
Arna, you and I never had sex. How can I be the father? I ain't gonna get out. This is fucked up.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
I have blonde hair.
Commandy, you are the father.
I don't have any money. Shit. Oh, shit. Did you read that? That's the one thing I never got to.
What, this Secret Origins?
Yeah.
I just skimmed it. I skimmed it on the internet.
Did it Is there anything critical in there that ties into the story?
No. I mean, it's kind of neat they actually like one-to-one redrew some of the panels in the annual.
Oh. Is it all the romance shit?
Yeah.
That stuff feels like such a waste of time in this issue. Like, there's so much shit crammed into half the book. Like I have this like really long notes of what happens on several of the pages. And then there's those pages with her and they're just like, nothing happens.
Yeah, and they're so close to the Secret Origins that it doesn't need to be there. And the Secret Origins issue at the time of annual number 1 would have been like a year-old back issue or something. You know, like it's not some hard to get thing, I don't think. So it seems weird that it's just because the Bierbaums wrote it and they want to I don't know, just keep their own stuff canon, I guess.
That's their first DC gig, at least. I don't know if it predates the Thunder Agent stuff or not, but
oh no, I think it's after that stuff.
Mark Waid hooked him up.
Oh, is that how they got there?
According to Bierbaum.
And how did he know them? Had he worked on that Thunder Agents shit? I mean, Giffen drew it.
That would not surprise me, but I don't know for sure. Of course, he's like a legion. He probably was on the interlac with them.
Yeah.
I know he did that old Index, and that was way before all this, I think.
Yeah. When was that? It must have been in kind of the mid 80s.
What so are these all the pertinent issues? Do you have we don't have Superboy 28, I don't think. Adventure 316, Secret Origins 42, Superboy 239.
I wasn't going to pull out all that shit.
I thought we did a fairly good job of covering most of this ahead of time, but I don't think we got both issues of that Omega story.
Wait, did we both do both of them together?
That would be awesome if we had. Yeah, I think maybe we did all of them.
Yeah, I think we must have done 50 and 51 in one night or whatever.
Right, that was kind of the sequel that got split up into 2 issues, and like maybe he was involved early on or something, but left.
Right. Yeah, I know we did the first one where Anne Ride gets killed.
Yeah,
I can't remember
the Apollo issue.
The other stuff.
That's Superboy 239. But then the Superboy and the Legion, there's 250 and 251, which is kind of the conclusion, the unsatisfying conclusion to that story, where it turns out Brainiac is behind it all.
And by the end, they lock him up or something, right?
I think he uses the Miracle Machine to maybe create Omega.
Yeah, I think that's how he makes Omega.
But I don't think have we covered that middle issue or not? That Adventure Comics issue where they're
this
burning off his symbol.
No.
Damn.
I got that out because I wanted to show those aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's these aliens that like when it's in the story that they talk about in this Secret Origins where he goes renegade or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And there's these really rad looking aliens, and they show up in the annual too.
Are they're being handcuffed?
Yeah, these blue tentacly blue guys.
Uh-huh.
These guys.
Yeah.
And so they used this design in the annual and in the Secret Origins, and I thought it was a really cool design.
Mm-hmm.
But then I looked it up on online. This issue of Adventure is missing pages. I can tell. Like it doesn't weigh enough. I bought it. They ripped me off.
Those bastards.
But anyway, yeah, I was talking about those aliens. They looked extremely cool in this. They're a different design, but I don't know, kind of cooler, more of a nightmare.
In the original story?
Yeah.
When did that series start? Like 80 in the 80s? Must have, right?
Which series? Secret Origins?
The version of it with Phantom Girl in
it. Yeah, it's got to be like 1987 or 6. Like after Crisis, I think, is when they started it.
Okay. And what issue number is that? I can look it up. It's
42. No, there's something really messed up about this comic. Like there's a bunch of story gone.
Is the story not numbered? Are the pages not numbered?
Well, see, it gets to page 8 of the story.
Uh-huh.
And then I turn over what I have left, and it goes to this Origins and Powers of the Legion thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in order. Like those panels are actually numbered. You know, it goes from 6 over here to 7 over here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot. It seems like a lot of story missing. Like there's nothing in this thing, it feels like. But maybe it is just 2 pages of the story are gone.
Oh, man. It's cool that they got Cochran to do this Secret Origins issue.
Yeah, not his best work.
No.
But yeah. Like, I wonder what happened to him. He was not good eventually, you know?
Yeah. It seems to happen to more often than not to these guys when they get real long in the tooth.
Yeah. There's only 4 leaves of pages, 16 pages in this. Yeah, there must be two leaves gone out of the middle of it. Really annoying. And it doesn't have the pages I wanted.
Well, and that's 316?
Yeah.
It's got to be like twice that, right?
Yeah. Gosh, is it even the wrong comic in here or something? What the hell? God, they totally ripped me off. But I don't know. Maybe I knew it when I bought it. Maybe it was only $2 or something. But it sucks. That comic is worthless to me.
It's going to be all right, Dave. It's just, David, there's just a couple pages. We'll get you another one.
It just drained me.
You're like, I'm going to find that son of a bitch who took my pages.
I don't even know where it came from now. I just should have looked. I've fallen out of the habit of looking at them before I buy them. If they're cheap enough, I just kind of assume that it's complete, but maybe junky, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. If you paid like $30 or more, I'd understand. But if you really only paid $5, $10,
yeah,
so that get ripped off worse going to the movie theater.
No, I know, but it's like less than half the comic, you know?
Like you should have felt it.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And it's also annoying because another comic I was looking at like a little bit ago also had a page missing out of it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Man, son of bitches.
I just need to pay like decent money to get them, and then they'll be all together, I guess.
You should be able to, they should let you look at it.
Oh, I know. But I mean, like, I'd rather have nicer copies anyway. Like sometimes I get like this urge to just buy them all, so I'll have everyone, right, regardless of condition. When I ought to be like, well, I could save my $10 for this fallen apart copy and put it towards a better copy that costs $20, you know, something like that.
Yeah,
but I don't always do that. I get the want gets the better of me.
Yeah. I have this problem. I have to be kind of enthusiastic about it at the time that I find it to buy it. And like the last time I saw some cheap issues, I was like, do I really need these? Now I'm like, I should have just gotten them.
Yep, I do that too. But I think I do that because I know it's hard to get rid of them once you have them and you don't want them, or like I get doubles and stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like I've got this one, you know, that's I only have about 30% of the issue. When I get the complete one, what am I going to do with that? Just hold on to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though I ought to just trash it.
I don't have a lot of Adventure Comics issues to worry about buying anything twice, but everything else, I've had basically all of them at one time or another, and I've read all of them in one form or another. So there's nothing there to remind me. I don't have anything. I should have something on my phone letting me know what I do and don't have. So every now and then I'll just get something. It's always like the same. I keep getting like the same issue of Tales. I think I have 3 of them now. So I don't remember which ones I still have.
Yeah. For me, that's a good thing about having all of them now. Almost all of them, except for the adventure issues.
Yeah.
Except that I'm sure there's a bunch that are really crappy. You know, they're just like holding together by a thread or something that I couldn't even open it to read it practically, you know?
I don't think I had a lot of the good 70s stuff, like the Cochran Grill stuff, but pretty much everything after it, after Grell, all the way up to 0 Hour I had at one point. And then I'm like, why am I keeping all this shit? I only like the Giffen issues. So I chucked most of them, not knowing I'd do a podcast 10 years
Well, what did you do with them? You chucked them? You threw them in the trash?
No. I mean, I may as well have. I took them to this comic shop and sold them or traded them, and I got almost nothing for them. So,
yeah, I mean, when they're only worth 50 cents, they only pay you half of a quarter or something for them.
I brought 8 long boxes because it was just taking over my life, and I was moving from a house to an apartment, and I didn't want my living room just to be stacks of long boxes.
Yeah,
so my mom. Actually, what was happening was my mom was selling the house I grew up in, and I no longer had that as a storage facility. You know, do you rent a one of those public storage garage things? Do you? Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, I think I know 1 or 2 people who have them, but then I'm like, I wonder if everybody has one but me. And I'm just always trying to shuffle different shit in my office here and find space, when really I should just do like everybody else does and rent one of those things for $50 a month or something.
Yeah. To me, that always seems like that's a sure sign of a problem.
Yeah.
If you've got so much shit, you got to put it somewhere else. You don't even have access to it.
That's what I think too, and I think that's why I've always always avoided it. I think we had one time for a few months, like in between apartments or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense if you're in an apartment for sure.
Yeah,
but if you've got a house and you still need a storage thing, unless it's somehow connected to your business, you're storing equipment there or something, and
right?
Maybe just get rid of that shit. I'll spend hours looking for like some special pen I know I have in a big plastic bin downstairs. And I'm like, I just like fucking buy it on Amazon for like $5.
Right. Yeah, $5 thing. Give me a break. Right. Yeah, like you're moving heavy shit around.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of what happened when I was trying to find the Secret Origins today. Like I dropped a short box of comics in my arm, I think I'm going to have a big bruise later,
That happened to me with one of the 5 years later issues. I think it was issue 4, actually. I couldn't find it. I was like, I'll just buy one for $2 on eBay. And then, of course, the other one showed up. But I wouldn't have found it if I hadn't just bought the other one. It wasn't in with the others because that's like the one I reread all the time. It's like the good one or one of the good ones.
Maybe the only good one.
No. Yeah. The goodest one.
If you're a real fan, you'd be pissed that it doesn't count anymore. Oh. And you would never read it again because it doesn't mean anything.
You mean as of issue 5 or after 0?
Yeah. Well, both.
I think it still counts within
like
the Giffen
as
story.
immediate as 5 or 6. It doesn't count anymore.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like that still counts. It's still by the same writers and creators, and it's sort of like this issue talks about it in a lot of ways. It's still part of the story,
I guess.
Wow. So, should we do this?
Yeah.
Today we are looking at the Legion of Superheroes Volume 4, Annual Number 1 from 1990. This is a dense fucking comic. What the hell was that? Is that Howard Chaykin or something?
This has some Doug Braithwaite artwork in it. It was the only Doug Braithwaite art I could find in my collection, or that I knew I had.
Is that like Betty Page or the Rocketeer girl, or what is that?
Yeah, it's supposed. They have a big Betty Page section in this. It's like it's Atomica. Oh. They did this anthology called A1 back in the 90s. And then they did this. It's like a bikini. It's like a pinup special, but it's like really thick. There's a ton of pages in it.
Was Madman? Did they publish Madman?
No, Tundra did Madman.
Okay.
But they're really similar in a way.
So who all's in there?
Well, just on the cover, it's got Brian Bolland, Gary Leach, Jamie Hewlett, Alan Moore. There's a bunch of pinups. John Bolton, Adam Hughes, Alan Davis, Mark Schultz, Dave Elliott, Bob Burden, Pete Flaming Milligan. Carrot. Yeah, it's like a flaming carrot thing in here. Look at this.
Yowza.
Yeah. Some Michael T. Gilbert.
Does all he does now, I think, is alter ego. It's either alter ego or back issue.
Oh,
he has like a column / comic.
He's got to be real old by now, right?
Who's that?
This is it like Carol Swain, or is it? Yeah, it's Carol Swain. Why is this in a pinup issue?
Weird.
I mean, it's probably the best thing in here.
Was that Mark Bayer right before it?
I don't think so. Oh, this is the Bob Burden thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's drawn to kind of look like a
Nemo or something.
Dreams of the Rarebit Fiend.
Rarebit Fiend, yeah.
I mean, it still looks like Bob Burden up close.
Yeah. I fucking hate that Rarebit Fiend strip. So boring.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless.
Shouldn't be eating that cheese.
Oh yeah, Alan Davis, Betty Page, John Bolton.
Is this like 91, 92? It says right there, big 90.
Yeah, this is really a dirty thing.
Have you noticed with newer comics, you really have to hunt for the year?
I haven't looked at a newer comic. But yeah, I feel like this indicia shit has really kind of gone by the wayside. I think
they still kind of have it, but then they don't. They used to kind of put the year up towards the top or bottom. I don't remember which. It's buried now.
Mm-hmm. Is this Dan Clowes?
That'd be weird.
Like they don't put...
I thought that a couple times reading this annual.
Oh, yeah?
I think they were trying to look like Kurt Swan. And I think he is heavily influenced by Swan. That's why.
Oh, yeah, Gary Leach, really good artist. Really good nipple artist.
So wait, did you show me the Doug?
No, I didn't even show you the stuff that I got this out for. It looks a lot different. It looks a lot better in this.
Okay. Oh, that's him?
You can kind of tell it's the same guy, but the Legion issue is really much weaker than this. I mean, not just because this has a naked lady in every panel.
Right.
Crazy, like, spider monster.
Yeah, I saw a lot of, when I was reading, like, reviews of it and stuff, it seems like the artwork is universally hated in this issue, but I kind of like the artwork. But it is uneven.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the artwork exactly. Like, it was boring. Like, it wasn't very dynamic.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you said, they were going for a Swan look.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, they should have used these guys anytime they were doing that throwback stuff from then on. Like it was such a better style for like the historical throwback
than
issues than like Chris Sprouse or somebody.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, it also kind of reminded me of Dave Gibbons, but maybe because Dave Gibbons kind of has that undynamic style too. Like he doesn't have big image comicsy kind of splash pages. He's pretty, I don't know, influenced by 60s DC.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say about Braithwaite is that he's also a UK guy. I didn't really realize that until tonight.
Okay.
I mean, being in an Anatomica book, this is primarily also UK people.
Okay. Maybe it's just like a different sensibility over there.
Yeah, like they don't do their comics as bombastic and splashy.
Right.
You know, it's like, I mean, they're better in a way.
Right. It's less pantomime. Is that what they call it? Pano, where they're overacting kind of? Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, it's a lot more subtle storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like this looks more like a Vertigo comic or something.
Right. And that was like all British people, basically.
Yeah. And it also kind of carries on the tradition of Legion annuals being staffed with British people, like Dave Gibbons.
Yeah,
they had a Brian Bolland cover. They had Gary Leach.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's somebody else I'm forgetting too, and I think this even looks like Gary Leach in places. Not as good as Gary Leach, but yeah, I think they all are sort of they must all be working from a smaller pool of influencers or something over there, or they were.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, a lot of their comics over there are weekly and they have like really short chapters, like 4 or 5 pages before they switch to the next story. And then it continues from week to week. But when you're working with that little space, you have to work denser. You can't have a lot of big splashes. It's almost more like working in a strip, like you're trying to cram story in.
Yeah, that would explain that type of pacing in their comics.
There's a lot of cramming in this issue.
Yeah.
So this came out on July 17th, 1990. Giffen is unofficially... He is not involved as far as we know, though he probably had some input, but he's not credited at all. This is kind of I don't know what you call it, like a pet project of Tom and Mary Bierbaum. Like they wanted to tell the story for a long time. Like this is one of their fan ideas, actually. And they actually originally wrote it with the Time Trapper in mind instead of Laura. They were originally going to put this in the regular comic as a 2-issue story. Maybe I should have explained what it is first. I don't know. And then at some point, Giffen was wanting to have a spin-off series that was going to spend more time kind of telling, what do you call them? Untold tales, like going further into the origins of the characters and explaining a lot of the stuff that happened within the 5-year gap so that the main comic wouldn't be so bogged down with flashbacks. But somewhere along the line, that idea got canned and they decided to use it for the annual instead, though they had to rewrite it heavily to put Glorith in there in place of the Time Trapper. The underlying idea that I guess Tom thought of as far back as the 70s, is he liked the idea of Mordru and the Time Trapper being kind of opposing, balancing forces in the universe.
Yeah, what do you think of that idea? It kind of works, but I think it also, like, as time has gone on, especially in the 5 years later period, like, that's the only villains they have anymore.
Right.
It seems like, yeah, they just should never have introduced these force of nature, ultimate power type of villains, maybe.
Maybe.
I just feel like all they ever talk about is Mordru or Time Trapper,
right,
as far as like threats. They do eventually have the war against the Dominators, which I guess I'm glad that that's going to take over. Because I'm a little bit sick of Mordru and a little bit sick of Time Trapper. I guess this is the first we really see of Glorith in action as the new Time Trapper.
Right.
But I'm a little bit over it.
Well, Mordru kind of fell out of favor, I think, after the 70s. He didn't show up very much at all in the 80s. And when he did, he was very diminished. He wasn't the cool, scary guy he was in the Jim Shooter issues.
Yeah, I guess it's because Tom Bierbaum wasn't running the show yet. Because they obviously really like him.
I mean, he got used a lot in the 70s. I mean, I'm all right with the idea. It's just so much a part of 5 years later. I can't imagine it without it. But it is sort of weird. I don't really think of Mordru as being like the opposite number to the Time Trapper. Like the Infinite Man fits that bill much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, this comic is about, they've decided to start explaining the new Time Trapper of Glorith, and it's sort of a spotlight on Ultra Boy.
Right. And it kind of falls into this trope I've at least noticed that really annoys me of, you can kind of tell like sometimes when a writer is a fan of a character when they decide to do a story that reveals that the dumb character was secretly smart all along. I've noticed a lot of that. Like writers, they did that with Wildcat and Justice Society at one point. Like he's not really punch drunk, he's really smart, and he just plays dumb so his enemies will underestimate him. And then the Transformers comics, they did that with like the Dinobots. They're secretly smart.
Yeah,
I think they've done that with Wolverine, like fan favorite characters. They can't really be dumb. They must secretly be geniuses.
I feel like a lot of the solo Tom and Mary Bierbaum stuff is sort of like that. I mean, because they're so into the fandom and the generating their own ideas based on the other stuff, like these,
right?
Yeah, the sort of between the lines type of stuff, and they want to make that explicit. Like, and now they're in charge and they can put it in the comic.
Yeah. I'm more tolerant of this because this is one of the first stories I read like that. And also, I think it's more interesting than most of those stories about the secretly smart guy. But it reminds me in some ways of what they did with Valor, where they decided he couldn't possibly be acting erratic or irrationally about not wanting to go back to the Phantom Zone. So it must have been some other personality doing that.
Yeah, ever since you mentioned that, like, I never really thought about it before, but yeah, it is becoming more and more apparent that they have this sort of fixed idea of what he's supposed to be and had to explain why he's weak or why he has...
right.
And instead of sticking with it, they have to say, oh, no, he had a problem. He was possessed by something that made him weak. You know, that's...
Right. It's like what Jeff Johns ended up doing with Hal Jordan when they wanted to walk back his... the Parallax stuff where he turned bad. He said like it was some sort of alien entity controlling his personality. It wasn't really him.
I mean, you could do it that way, or you could just own it. Like, which is better, you know? Like, to say that for a while, Mon-El was weak, or Hal Jordan, he did whatever he did and killed a bunch of people, or whatever he did. He killed all the Green Lanterns or something, didn't he?
Right. Well, that's where it gets complicated, and it sort of makes sense if you've decided you're going to make a bad guy a good guy again. If he's already killed a bunch of people, that's kind of hard to like write off. Like they had that big problem with the Phoenix over in Marvel. She like destroyed a universe, and when that storyline ended and they killed her off, they wanted to bring her back as a good guy. Well, no, they wanted to reform her without killing her, and Jim Shooter said, no, you can't do that. The only redemption you can have after something like that is if you die in the process, which kind of makes sense. You can't be like, oh, well, I'm going to go back to being a good guy now after I've killed millions of people. And then they were able to later get out of that kind of like the Parallax thing. They said Phoenix was not Jean Grey. She was another character that was impersonating her. I don't know.
It just seems weaselly in a way. Yeah. And it just depends on, I guess, on how well they do it.
Right.
But, speaking of Green Lantern, they have the subplot from Cosmic Odyssey where Jon Stewart fucks up and a planet gets killed. And they didn't cheap out on that. He became a guy who was troubled by that mistake instead of it being like, well, he was actually possessed by a demon, Red Lantern, who is responsible for that and not him. So he's absolved of all this stuff, and he can be fun again or something,
Right.
And I guess I feel like that's a good development in his storyline as a character, maybe better than he actually didn't do that.
That's a tough one. I mean, I guess, but I don't know how he ever got away with that. Probably because he's not a very important character and nobody cares about him. But it is sort of weird that you could just go back to being a good guy after you killed everybody on a planet.
Well, because he didn't do it. He goofed, and the monster, the bad guy, did it.
Right.
It was his hubris that.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
Now, if Hal Jordan did that, they would have said a Parallax did it. He would never make that mistake.
Yeah, it was some kind of omega effect poisoning or some shit.
Right. Because John isn't the marquee, the main character, the main white guy. They can make him more flawed.
Is he still flawed now, I wonder? Now that he is. I don't know who their marquee Green Lantern is now. He was on TV and stuff.
Which one?
Jon Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
Is he the star of the Green Lantern comic book, or is that still Hal Jordan,
no.
Or is it somebody else altogether?
It's still Hal Jordan. Yeah, they pushed really hard to make him the main character again. I could get into conspiracy theories, I believe in, about them. They were unhappy with the idea that the general public thought Green Lantern was black.
Well, yeah, Jeff Johns was steering the ship on Green Lantern too, and this dude is such a I don't know, is this a word, nostalgist or something? Like he is so devoted to the originals.
Right. It was a really stupid move on their part because it was long overdue to have a black character that wasn't Black Lightning or Black Panther, who at that time were third, fourth rate characters, not headlining characters. But they went to all that trouble to sort of diminish Jon Stewart, even though the general public thought of Green Lantern as black at that time, and reinstall Hal Jordan for their film and everything. And that was just a few years before the public started making a bigger deal about having better representation in these comics. So they were sort of ahead of the game and they fell behind. It was really stupid.
Well, that movie was all Jeff Johns too, wasn't it?
Right, it was.
Yeah. So that guy kind of sucks in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's don't talk about him anymore, I guess.
Oh, I want to say one more thing. I know this is
this
is all getting deleted. It's not part of the story, but I just think, after all that New 52 business, there were almost no people of color left in those comics. And if you went 20 years previous, 30 years now, to the mid 90s, because they had the milestone books. So they had 4 or 5 books with black characters. And then Jon Stewart had his own ongoing comic at that time. And so did Steele. So they had 8 or 9 monthly comics with black characters. And then by the time you get to the new 52, they had 0.
Shit. Yeah.
Stupid. Very stupid.
Well, they had Tyrock in New 52.
Oh, yeah. But he was on a team.
Right. He wasn't the star of anything.
Right.
So the purpose of this comic, I guess, is, to expand on that fan theory stuff that the Bierbaums like. And it also kind of, it makes explicit a lot of the stuff they've alluded to in the previous 11 issues.
The retcons.
Yeah, the retcons that are going to happen after issue 4. A lot of changes have taken effect.
Right. And back in the day before Wikipedia and having the hindsight we do of the series, this issue was critical. This helped you decode what the heck was going on in the 5 years later post issue 4 universe. Yeah,
I see that, and I think I felt that way at the time. Reading it this week, I feel like you don't need this comic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I've read read the whole series a bunch of times before and I'm kind of up to date on them because we've been talking about them.
Right.
I don't think there's anything in this annual exactly that couldn't have been left in just the allusion stage that they did it in the text pages of the earlier issues, you know?
That is probably right. But like this particularly like issue 50, that was one of the big ones in my mind at the time. Like, how is this, if Superboy didn't die and the Time Trapper isn't around anymore, how are they filling that hole?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Explains that. But I mean, they do it within a couple pages. You probably didn't need a whole issue for it. But.
And issue 50, I guess for a regular reader, issue 50 was recent enough that you might actually need an explanation for that. Whereas you don't need the explanation of what happened in Adventure 316. You can just kind of chalk that up to that was 40 years ago.
The issue 50 in question is from the previous series, which was when Giffen first came back, and it was the Legion avenging the death of Superboy, fighting the Time Trapper. But in this new universe, this rebooted universe, both Superboy and the Time Trapper no longer exist.
So the new reason is that Glorith has killed everyone on planet Daxam, which is the homeworld of, used to be Mon-El. He's not Mon-El no more. Largand and Laurel Gand, his girlfriend? Sister.
His descendant.
He's from the past still.
He's from the 20th century. Yes. So her rationale makes sense. She kind of briefly talks about how Darkseid was able to control all these guys and have basically an army of Superman-powered characters.
Glorith is rationale.
So Glorith decides she needs to wipe these guys out. That replaces the idea of Superboy dying. And that this is the new rationale for the Legion, the conspiracy, the Vengeance Squad, or the secret conspiracy of characters who originally decided to avenge Superboy's death, now want to avenge the destruction of Daxam. Though now that I'm saying that out loud, why would you need a conspiracy to do that? That seems like a pretty, you could get everybody on board for that. But I guess maybe the rationale is the same as before, like you don't want everyone to die. You know, you're going on a suicide mission.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Right.
Some of the motives I don't totally get. Like before, the motive was, well, to get revenge for Superboy, even though I'm not sure the Time Trapper even directly killed Superboy, did he?
I think it was close enough.
In the battle against Time Trapper, somehow Superboy was killed. The conspiracy included Brainiac 5, Mon-El, Saturn Girl, Duo Damsel, and that's it, right?
Ron Vidar.
Yeah, he shows up a little bit later. Yeah.
Oh, did he not go in with them? He just popped in, or I thought he went as Ron Vidar and then revealed himself as Green Lantern.
Yeah, I think that's right. But he did just maybe stowed away. I don't know if they knew he was going.
Yeah, we just covered that.
We'll have to rewatch our video. Yeah,
I thought maybe he was helping with Jackson.
Oh, that could be. Infinite Man was their ace in the hole.
Right.
But their motives was that this group of people specifically got together for this because Mon-El is Superboy's big brother.
Right.
Brainiac 5 is pissed that the Time Trapper even exists and fucks up his time travel experiments. Duo Damsel was in love with Superboy.
She had the dumbest motive and the least reason to be there, for sure.
Right. And then I can't even put my finger on what Saturn Girl's reason was.
Right. It was kind of a wild story. A lot of it doesn't add up in retrospect, like how Saturn Girl and Duo Damsel didn't end up getting divorced when they came back, for example, unless you want to imagine that maybe they secretly let their husbands in on it, their families in on the fact that they were doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of embarrassing to go on a suicide mission and then come back alive from it, and you have to explain everything
to your husband and children.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the children, you could just like not talk about it, I guess. Yeah. And you know, they would sort it out with their therapist when they're grown up. But so that was the original scenario. In the new scenario, without a time trapper to go fight, they go fight Glorith because of her destruction of Daxam. And the new crew is Largand, used to be Mon-El, now he's just Largand, Laurel Gand, Brainiac 5, Duodamsel, Saturn Girl, and Green Lantern is there, Ron Vidar.
Right. And in this telling, it doesn't look like it's a surprise that he's Green Lantern.
Yeah, it's like he's on the team
get-go.
almost.
Yeah, as a lantern.
Right. And so now I think the motives are on shakier ground in a way, because like, what the hell is Duodamsel there? What's her grudge against Glorith and Daxam?
Well, there's like, what does she bring to the table is the biggest issue with her. I mean, I think the rationale is probably stronger, like revenge for the death of one person versus the genocide of an entire planet. That seems more justifiable, but
in a way, but everyone would have that motive. How did Duodamsel, the least powerful Legionnaire, get looped into this mission?
Right.
Like you got some actual Daxamites who have some skin in the game.
Yes.
You have your time travel big brain guy. I don't know why Ron Vidar's there, because he's not a member of the Legion of Superheroes, and he doesn't need to be along for the ride to take care of the Infinite Man, because I don't think they use Infinite Man in this scenario. So I'm not sure why he's there either.
Well, even when he was helping with the Infinite Man, I think that was sort of that was
just a cover, so he could bail them out. Yeah,
like I think maybe the Green Lanterns sent him, I think, to deal with the Time Trapper. Like, and that it would make sense that the Green Lanterns would have an issue with her. But then it's like, why didn't they send the whole Corps?
Yeah, Green Lanterns would have an issue with every villain,
Right.
So yeah, that is strictly theoretical. So
they have one extra person through Laurel Gann. In some ways, as the story progresses, she sort of is the Infinite Man in this story. Like, she delivers the coup de grace in the way that the Infinite Man did.
Yeah, in a much less cool
way.
She just punches out Glorith at the end. Yeah, if they just had two super strong people in the original battle against the Time Trapper, maybe they could have settled all this, and nobody would have had to die. In the old telling, Mon-El got mortally wounded, I guess. He never quite exactly died, I guess.
He did die.
Well,
he died. He was resurrected. He was buried.
That's true.
Didn't he like burst out of his tomb on Shangri-La?
Yeah, you're right. He died, but he didn't die in the battle. He died after the battle.
He died of the wounds. He died very
like a year later.
Subtly. Like, I don't know how many people even picked up on the fact that he died until he came back, and then you had to go back and look. And like in the last issue, or the second to last issue, there's this he kind of dies off panel. You just see like a heart monitor or something flatline.
Mm-hmm. The heart monitor goes off at the same time all the electricity in the universe goes away. So it's kind of ambiguous.
Or like maybe he needed that life support, and the loss of power killed him. I don't know.
No.
You don't think so?
I think they even say that the machines aren't keeping him alive. Oh. I think we talked about this in our coverage of issue 50. But they were real rushed in those last two issues of the Baxter series. So a lot of stuff was done crappy.
Yeah, they resolved that a lot faster in this. He recovers because of the Eltro-Gand thing instead. Should we save that till the page? Probably.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Obviously, since we're not going to have the big showdown between him and Time Trapper from issue 4, that hasn't happened now. They just circumvent the entire life support for years issue and being temporarily dead. They just say he got better because of Eltro-Gand. Though in this version of the story, he isn't like badly burned up. He is superannuated. He's aged.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure how second personality de-ages him.
It's because that second personality is making him so weak and suppressing his recuperative powers somehow.
Oh, okay.
Like he must use his willpower somehow as part of his abilities, I guess.
He was too complex and conflicted and traumatized. Eltro was. We got it. Once he's back to his sort of Superman, pure, perfect, uncomplicated persona.
I really feel like he sucks without Eltro-Gand. Like, he's just a boring strongman. Like, give me a break. Do we need another one of those? Like, why do they want that so bad?
Right. Why is it hard to believe that someone who spent like 1,000 years as a ghost wouldn't want to go back?
Right. Or wouldn't be a little messed up.
Like a real hero wouldn't be conflicted about that. It's a little silly.
How did he even get the Eltrogan shit into him?
In or out? Well, we read that issue, I think, didn't we?
He came out of the Phantom Zone and then had the Eltrogan resurrection thing. That's right. I was thinking he would have had to have been Eltrogan at the beginning, but that's not the case, and that's not accurate. Prior to Phantom Zone, that's not how it should happen.
Oh, yeah, Eltro. That's right. Eltro popped up. What was it? It was that, wasn't it? It was that device that transfers life force, maybe?
Yeah. It's in an Action Comics
like
issue.
A backup, maybe?
Well, in the action period, they were kind of short.
Oh, they were all... Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there was the one where, Dream Girl dreams that Mon-El's going to die, and then Eltrogan comes and knocks him out, and he's going to take his place in death.
Right.
And then he actually does die.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mon-El dies, Eltrogan goofs at saving him, and he dies. And then Eltrogan sacrifices his life with basically the same technology that they used to quote unquote restore to life Lightning Lad.
Right.
That's a neat development. I like that. The fact that having Eltrogan in there makes him a weak wimp. And if you get rid of that, he's awesome and pure.
Right.
I think that's dumb. Yeah. I don't like that. And I don't like their devotion to that. Just go with it if it's in there instead of having to solve it somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're good writers personally, but I think their sentimentality gets in the way sometimes. I think a lot of writers have that problem when they're writing things they grew up fans of. Like, you have to be able to separate yourself from that, and sometimes they manage to do that okay, and they'll kill off characters they love, but sometimes their fan theories get in.
I think anytime something like that happened, it was Giffen doing it. And they're just like, are you sure, Keith? He's like, do it. And they're like, all right.
Right.
We'll kill Block. Then, yeah, whatever.
I think it's hard to separate it all out, though. I mean, I feel like maybe the comic would have been worse if they weren't there to moderate him. Like, maybe he would have killed everybody in the first year.
Yeah, maybe. On this page, Glorith does this thing where she gives someone an unwanted kiss and harms them. She does it a little bit later on, maybe 2 more times in the comic.
Yeah, it's just another one of those unfortunate cliches, kind of with the evil, powerful character. If it's a female, it's all sort of very sexual.
Right.
Like the Time Trapper isn't kissing people to kill them. Right.
He should have French kissed Mon-El to destroy him.
Right.
That would have been crazy. I think we would have accepted that as something very strange if that had happened. Like, I got to remember that if I'm ever writing a Legion of Superheroes comic, like the kiss thing, just that, like, change it up, have a
handshake.
Well, the Time Trapper is not even like a guy. He doesn't really have a face.
Right.
But like, he comes and he puts his hood over somebody else's head.
Right.
And I don't know. That'd be neat.
Yeah. We should have mentioned, if we didn't, and maybe we did and I've already forgotten, right before they left on their mission, their revenge mission, Ultra Boy tries to convince them not to go and do it because he is worried that Glorith has some sway or control over Largand, and it would be a catastrophe to bring him. Saturn Girl does not believe Ultra Boy, so he allows her to read his thoughts. And that is sort of a segue into all the flashbacks the story is made up of. Kind of nonsensically, even though she realizes how catastrophic it will be after reading his mind, she decides to let Largand go anyway. She's like, well, I'm still taking him.
Right. We owe it to him to let him.
Right. It's the same logic that said Duo Damsel would be good for this mission.
Yeah. I mean, she also thinks they're all going to die. So maybe that's why. It's like, well, either he's going to kill us or she is.
Maybe that's why they brought Duo Damsel. It's not going to diminish the team much if she's not there.
Right. It's kind of an interesting way to do this flashback bookend type of shit where it's not Ultra Boy telling his story to the audience or to Glorith specifically. It's Saturn Girl downloads Ultra Boy's mind, and then when gets knocked out by Glorith, she starts to leak out Ultra Boy's memories, and Glorith can tune into it, and she's seeing all of it.
It's a pretty good idea.
I mean, it's kind of an extra level of complication, but it's also kind of a good idea that way the Ultra Boy doesn't have to be in the battle. They can show us the big Glorith battle.
There's a lot of far-fetched elements to Ultra Boy's one-man conspiracy, but it is an interesting thing. Like, it is something that he cannot say out loud to anyone ever, or the universe may end. Like, he feels he's figured something out no one else in the universe knows. And much like Mordru was when he first appeared, if he says it anywhere at any time to anyone, she will know. So he has to just keep it to himself. I think that's a cool idea.
It is a cool idea. Throughout the issue, though, I felt like he's kind of like when he's talking to Brainiac 5, he asks Brainiac 5 some question, some leading question. Brainiac 5 is like, hey, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Now I see what happened, blah, blah. And Brainiac figures it out
eventually.
After Ultra Boy asks him one question or whatever. And then Brainiac 5 gets his mind fried by Glorith. But
it takes him like 10 years to work it out, though.
I guess so. But it seemed like if Glorith had been looking around, she might have realized that Ultra Boy gave Brainiac 5 the idea to investigate this. Or there's a scene when Ultra Boy goes and talks to Brand. Mm-hmm. Ultra Boy's like, Brand, I know you got a secret, but I'm not going to invade your privacy by making you tell me what it is. Right. But I know something about you. And then he's like, and there's something about me that I can't tell you. You know, right. He goes around and tells everybody that he has a huge secret and he can't tell anybody what it is. And meanwhile, he's like investigating all these people who used to live in the 20th century and moved to the 30th century, investigating Mon-El, investigating time travel shit. And it's like, Glorith, I thought you were watching everything. You know, this guy's doing everything but saying, I think Glorith created the Legion of Superheroes as a tool.
I feel like maybe she's not that powerful. It's more like the government has tapped all the phones and they're looking for keywords, and that might alert them, and then they'd pay attention. But as long as he doesn't say anything too explicit, like some of these instances are happenstance. Like he didn't deliberately go back to the past. That was a mission he was sent on.
But he says she controlled that. That's how he got clued into this, is that Glorith controlled that mission, right?
So that's true. So she does have some awareness of him and in what he's doing, because he's one of the people whose strings she's pulling. If she's so awesomely powerful, and like this is the guy she uses to set these events in motion, he's also uniquely positioned to be the guy who figures it all out. Right. So you'd think she'd be watching him, but maybe the whole time she's like, "Well, he never said he had an idea, so I guess I'll let him go a little." He is pretty stupid,
and a great actor.
Right. So
I flipped way ahead. They flash back to his childhood.
That's right. They go back to his childhood. We see that his dad was a farmer and he was insistent on remaining independent. And we see like corporate gangs trying to shake him down, I guess, to become part of Monsanto's or something. I don't know.
Silver Ale or something.
Right.
Silver
Ale was mentioned in issue 2, I think, of 5 years later.
Right. Yeah. Silver Ale was sort of. There was another thing there, another plate they sort of had spinning. Right. The corporatized sin capitalism they have going on Rimbor. Right. It was sort of represented by Silver Ale Limited, their beer.
Yeah, it's like Rimbor is the post-Reagan United States. There's no regulation there. The capitalists run everything.
But it's also all crime. Right, poverty, crime, and then
as I was saying, capitalism.
But there was no poverty or crime when Reagan was president.
No.
He fixed all that.
So the father has like some questionable parenting skills. Like
he's got to learn out on the streets.
He's like, he doesn't need to do his homework. You know, he's going to learn from the School of Hard Knocks. And then we see this kid who looks. The way he's drawn, he can't be more than 5 or 6 on the right middle panel, but he's wearing his gang leather jacket with the name of the gang we know he's in.
Yeah, he's wearing short pants, literally a boy in short pants with a gang coat on.
Right. He looks a little older than he does on the left side, like some years have passed, but he's no older than my son. He's like 7, maybe there.
Yeah, he's like a toddler. He's
Right.
probably 2 or 3.
Right.
And in the next panel, he's like, he's like, Mom, I'm busy.
Right.
I'm doing homework.
He's wearing
he's got to be
jacket.
6 or 7.
He doesn't need to do homework.
They would be playing that Cats in the Cradle song over this.
Right.
But at least he's hanging with the same kids.
Right.
Like this guy, I think is his bro. Yeah, a little bit later on. He's always hanging with this guy. He has a bowler cap on a little bit later on.
Right.
And then this dude with this other guy with the, what is that? It's like the Cyndi Lauper hat from the 80s almost.
Right. So apparently on Rimbor, everyone has 2-letter first names. Something I've noticed. You have Joe.
Oh, yeah. This guy's name is Cy.
Right. His good friend, the black guy, his name is App, I believe. And then there's another guy named like Guy, G-Y. Everyone has 2-letter
This guy with the dreadlocks on the side is named Guy.
Mm-hmm. How many letters does Ann have? Is it just A-N?
I think it is.
Yeah.
But weirdly, this guy Reflecto, who they sort of...
right.
His name is Stig Ah.
That's right.
So maybe he does it reverse.
Oh,
maybe
right, because he's Reflecto. Everything's backwards. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
But yeah, the leader of Ultra Boy's gang. This gang is a gang of only 3 guys. I think
the Black Bull Rats.
What is it? Bull Rats?
Bull Rats. I think BOLRATS.
Black Bull Rats.
It's right on the back of that 7-year-old's jacket.
Oh, the Borlats. Yeah.
Or is it Borlats? I missed the R.
And yeah, they have a big mural of it, or a Led Zeppelin wall hanging.
Right.
The Borlat, which is like a cat with 6 legs, I guess.
It's kind of cool. So we get a couple pages showing us Joe's education on the streets and about the 3 rules of the streets that he learns the hard way from Cy. And those rules are, should I say them?
Wait, let me try and remember them. Rule number 1 is don't talk about Fight Club.
Right.
No,
pretty close.
It's don't let them know what you know.
That's right.
That's the only one I remember. They hammer that into your head the whole rest of the comic. The other 2, I don't know what they are.
The second rule is don't fight a battle unless it's on your terms.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is never let your guard down. And that one, when we see the example of that in here, it seems a little redundant, but we'll get to that.
Remember that? What was the thing in The Jerk? He had some rules, right? It was like, see a doctor and get rid of it. And fuck, I can't remember. They're funny.
I probably haven't watched that movie in 30 years.
What?
Yeah, I watched it all the time when I was a kid. I like it. Carl Reiner, right? The only thing I ever remember is the phone book part. And
right.
Him being raised by a black family, I guess, and being completely devoid of soul. I saw them all on television, all the good Steve Martin movies. So I get them all I get that one and The Man with Two Brains and All of Me. They're all.
Oh, yeah. The jerk is not like those, but yeah, I could see how they're kind of blurred. So the 3 rules from The Jerk: Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey.
Right.
And see a doctor and get rid of it.
Right. Those are pretty good rules.
Yeah.
Get you pretty far.
You should watch The Jerk again. I haven't watched it in a long time either, but it's been less than 30 years since but it's funny. There's some funny parts in it.
I probably have seen it just bits and pieces out of order over those years, but I haven't sat down from beginning to end. Sometimes I forget Steve Martin used to be funny. He's kind of gotten it back in the last couple of years, but to some extent, it's a different kind of funny now. But there were like 30 dreadful years of what happened.
Yeah, like Pink Panther movies, which, I didn't see them. I assume they're dire.
Like him and Eddie Murphy, simultaneously decided to stop being funny for somewhere in the mid-90s.
But that movie that they're both in, Bowfinger?
I hear that's
a funny movie. It's good.
That's like a standout. It's pretty comical. Like, this kid does absolutely everything wrong, Joe Na. And he keeps getting his ass whipped by this older brother leader-like figure for being such an idiot. Like he's carrying money from bets through enemy territory, and he loses the money. That's how he learns the first rule of not telling people you're carrying money, I guess, right?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, let us buy. I have a bunch of money. And somebody kicks his ass.
Right? So then he decides to go try to get the money back, gets his ass kicked by the gang, and then yelled at by Sai again because he then broke the second rule of not fighting people under your own terms. And then Sai manages to get those guys busted by the science police, I guess.
And then how does he learn the don't let your guard down?
Okay, the third rule he learns when
his buddy gets killed?
After the second rule, when they beat the rival gang, this is also when Anne Rind, is it Rand?
Anne Ride.
When Anne Ride comes in, because she was the rival gang leader's girlfriend, and
gun mall.
Sai steals her. So Joe and Sai go out. They go out to the clubs trying to meet girls, and Sai tries to impress girls by telling the girls what they have pulled off. And this is apparently breaking this third rule of never let your guard down, according to the story. But to me, it kind of sounds like rule number 1, right? Never let them know what you know. Like, you don't really need a third rule for that. But
yeah, I guess maybe it's a combination of both. Like, he lets his guard down and thinks he can trust these girls, but these girls must be the property of the rival gang, just like Anne Ride was. Yeah. I think what they don't touch on in this comic is just how tragic the Anne Ride story is.
Right.
We talked about her story in issue. It's in Superboy 239, the Jim Starlin thing.
Right.
In that story, she's killed. She's murdered.
From the beginning.
Yeah, right at the beginning. But it implies that she'd been a good girl, which they don't. She wasn't a good girl in this. I guess she's the property of gangs, gets passed around. It's pretty fucked. But yeah, she as Starlin, Jim Starlin envisioned her, she was good and then became bad, quotation marks.
Right, like
she was like a prostitute or hooked on drugs or something
to get by.
Yeah, and so she sold out some secret, and she gets murdered by Brainiac 5 murders her.
I'm presuming all that happens after what happens in this story, because the gang that they're in sort of goes legit within this story. So maybe she kind of gets her life together as a young adult and then falls into hard times.
I suppose. To me, it seems like she was never in good shape, except for maybe, I guess it's the way they gloss over his whole younger years. But you have to assume that he joins the Legion when he's 15 or 16 or something.
Right.
So for maybe 1 or 2 years, she's good. But prior to that, she was owned by a gang member, and then she got owned by another gang member, and he goes straight, I guess. And he lets her go because she falls in love with Ultra Boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Sai is that bad of he's a jerk. I don't think he's like enslaved her or something, though.
It's hard to tell because I kind of am assuming that all of the stuff that happens on Rimbor is actually maybe worse than the delivery makes it seem it is, because it's supposed to be the worst place in the universe for crime and corruption and badness. Right. But yeah, the way they tell it and the way it's drawn makes it's much cleaner. This is like the Y7 kind of version of red light districts, back alley crime, all that shit. Yeah. So I just kind of figured that it was actually much more nefarious than like more like the Jim Starlin comic was, Right. For some reason, they've really made it weaker sauce in.
Well, I don't know.
Here.
They don't seem like that nefarious a gang. Like, the most they're doing is moving money for bets, right? We don't see them selling drugs or having prostitution rings and stuff. They are young kids. They're not like 17, 18, 19-year-olds. They're pretty young.
They're 14. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just not giving them the benefit of the doubt, I guess, because they're poor street kids.
Yeah.
That's just my own bias.
It's funny that you say it's Y7, and it probably is, but this one seems more, maybe because I don't know why, but it seems more like they say Jesus Christ in here somewhere.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
They don't
it really
do
stuck
that in
out.
A regular comic. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So the old man, his little plan is backfiring on him. His son is turning into someone he doesn't know, walking around wearing short shorts. He's fuck you, old man. You can't tell me what to do. The usual.
He puts on his short shorts and then he goes and promptly joins the theater troupe.
That's right. So this shows like a more wholesome side to her, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of pages where she's still, I don't know, like I kind of got the impression that she's cheating on Cy with Joe now. And she's like, well, he doesn't care. We're not gonna run into him at acting class, so we can go together.
You read the worst into them. I don't know. I think he'd like it to be that way, but he's just a tag along, I think, at this point. At this point, Joe is just her good friend who's hoping she'll break up with the bad boy and be his girl. Even though when she does, he like starts looking at Phantom Girl exactly one panel later.
Right. Yeah, this is so condensed that it's kind of meaningless. Like the drama really gets lost.
So he takes like some acting classes with her, and it turns out he's a good natural actor. And his teacher is like Amy Sedaris, only she's green.
Yeah, she's like, you've got quite a gift. The gift of pure, true acting.
Which immediately comes into good use because she gets kidnapped by that original gang that the original boyfriend, I think, wants her back and kidnaps her. So,
the Bronx.
The Bronx. So we find that he's not on the espionage squad, right?
No.
He should have been, according to this.
He ought to be. He's a master of disguise.
Right. So he dresses up as the meter man and breaks her out of the bad guy compound.
It's almost like a fat suit. Like he makes himself shorter and like, dumpy.
It's kind of funny. It's like, I mean, I assume, though I don't know how bad his gang really is, these guys seem like they're really bad guys. Like they murder people and they let the meter guy in of their like drug house.
Well, what's he say? Like, if you don't let me check the meter, they'll send the police to shut you down.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. Even though, they probably live in a place where the police are afraid to go.
Right. And they get paid off.
But see, the fact that they kidnap back Anne Ride makes me think that she was in a real bad place.
Right.
Like she's probably been with them since she was 11 or something awful. Right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think that's where I must have got those ideas from.
That makes sense.
And you don't just recover from that with one sweet boy and, one acting class.
So Cy is a little jealous that Joe saved his girlfriend and runs off with her to go chase some Imskian dragons. Now, the Imskian dragons are the source of their power, of Shrinking Violet's people's power. Or they hunt those animals in their scales. Somehow, something in their scales, I guess they eat it or inject it, something. It gives them their shrinking power.
So they don't have inborn shrinking powers. They have to eat the scales of a space dragon.
I think so.
Crazy.
But I think maybe they just have to eat it once. She doesn't have to go find a dragon every couple issues.
But they don't work on everybody, I assume. Like Ultra Boy gets eaten by the space dragon.
Well, he actually
he gets superpowers.
He gets eaten by the Ultra Energy Beast, who they have mistaken for an Imskian dragon. But it's somehow a dragon too, I think, because I think the whole Emerald Dragon thing that comes years later, it's alluding to the Ultra Energy Beast. Yeah,
they call them Imskian dragon hunters, but they hunt space dragons. Yeah, there's a Imskian dragon, and then there's a Ultra Energy Beast space dragon.
Right.
It's getting complicated. And there's a super Moby Dick of space out there.
Right. It's kind of interesting, as crowded as this is, and they put a lot of unnecessary stuff in here. They basically skip over the big, and I'm fine with them skipping over it, but it's probably the most notable part of his origin. The only part that existed before now, like he gets swallowed by one of them. That all happens off panel.
Yeah, that could have been something cool, but they had to have some love stuff in there instead.
I don't know if I just thought it up or I read it somewhere, but I always like the idea of him hot rodding in space and like playing chicken with it or something and ending up getting swallowed by the beast.
I think that's kind of how he was in, or wait, am I thinking of in the reboot time? I think
maybe in the reboot.
I think he was like a hot rodder.
Right. I mean, that makes sense to me.
Played him up like one of the bad guys in Rebel Without a Cause.
Right. I think they kind of drew him a little bit like James Dean back in the day, like back in the 60s.
Oh, yeah, could be.
He had the slick back, longer hair. He had a longer haircut than a crew cut that was like long hair in the 50s.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, Ultra Boy gets eaten by this thing. They get him out. Yeah, they don't even show him being rescued.
Right. And this is another page where we see that Sai's not that awful a guy. But it kind of works against him. And once they start portraying him like sympathetically, he very quickly becomes like this pathetic character that is promptly written out.
Yeah, he's not even the same guy.
Right. Ultra Boy, after he wakes up and realizes he can see everything now with the nurses and I've seen everything. It's too late. That he has these powers. He convinces Sai that they should go legit. And I don't know what legit means. Maybe they're like DraftKings now. They're doing legit bets now. And Anne, she tells him she's not interested in him anymore. She likes Joe. And he kind of just pathetically walks away. And that's the last we ever see him of Sai. But really, he got off easy because the role he has in this kind of story almost always ends up dead. Like he's lucky he got to walk off. If he ever does show up again, it's going to be because Ultra Boy finds out somebody killed his old friend. And
exactly. Yeah.
We get 2 panels of them being together happy. Really just one. Like he finally got the girl that he's been pining for through this whole issue. And then like at the bottom of the same page, he sees someone else he's more in love with. He just totally forgets about her, basically. What a jerk.
Yeah, his out in the open romance with Anne Ride is real short-lived.
Yeah, it's like he just loved the idea of being with her or something. Once he actually gets her, he's already looking elsewhere.
Well, he's just so smitten and taken with Phantom Girl. I mean, maybe it's because now he has superpowers. Like if he had not got the superpowers, maybe he would have settled for this troubled girl from his hometown. But now he can join the big leagues and date girls with superpowers, and they'll actually look at him.
Right. Yeah, he sees Phantom Girl fighting Asterix or some kind.
Is that Obelix?
Or somebody from the Flintstones. He looks kind of comical. He's wearing like a Flintstone shirt, Fred Flintstone shirt.
Yeah. Look how big Ultra Boy's hand is here in the 5th panel where he's sitting with Anne Ride. He has a really monstrous, weird hand.
Yeah. There's kind of a weird pointing hand on the next page, too.
Yeah, it's weird. This artist is good. But definitely not his best work here.
I think this was kind of a rush job, and it was kind of a very hard, almost impossible task cramming the story in. I probably should have mentioned at the beginning that Bierbaum considers this like his worst work.
Yeah, he doesn't like the 2 annuals, right? The first 2 annuals.
Which is weird, because I think he's written much worse. I mean, this issue is kind of a mess, but I think it's at least kind of interesting that he manages to cram so much in there. But
right, it's coherent, and yeah, there's a sort of density to it that a lot of the solo Bierbaum comics just don't have. They seem like there's nothing going on in them. Like I was looking through, must have been an issue of Legionnaires, not too long ago. And I don't know, there's like a big panel with like 2 guys in it and 1 word balloon, and it's like over and over again like that, like,
oh no,
there's just nothing happening in this comic, And I just feel like that's what their work is like without or on their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I keep falling back in this. Maybe I'm being too generous because of my sentimentality, but I keep feeling like it's like a Lennon-McCartney balance or something. Like their sentimentality and their like balances out Giffen's cutthroatness, and like maybe I'm wrong, but we never really truly see Giffen fly solo with the Legion. He's always collaborating with them or Levitz. But
I think the Bierbaums do kind of they kind of round off some of Giffen's more mean instincts.
I think like their obvious like love of the characters also makes some of the crazy cutthroat decisions he makes more palatable, because you can't believe they killed Block, but you can tell in the writing that there's a reverence to these characters. This isn't just somebody who jumped on the book who doesn't give a shit.
I'm trying to think of who among Giffen's other usual collaborators would have been good. And maybe Fleming would have been a good writer for this if the Bierbaums weren't doing it, you know?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone else could have pulled it off, really, because they have such deep, nerdy knowledge and affection for these characters. And I think that really adds credibility to, we're making crazy decisions with these characters, but we clearly understand them very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Not too many other comic book writers get all the nuance of all the years of backstory.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure you've experienced this. Like when you're growing up, you're reading a book and they change writers, and the next writer clearly doesn't care for the characters the way the previous writer did. Probably didn't even read those issues preceding. So all of a sudden, everyone's acting out of character. Someone who's very important for the last 2 or 3 years is like sidelined within the first couple pages of the next one. And it just feels very jarring.
Yeah.
It's good that you have someone on there who cares about the characters, I guess, if you're going to do crazy shit.
This Phantom Girl thing with Shugan, I guess is how you say this guy's name. Sugan. It's in the Secret Origins. I think this is the origin of this origin.
Yabba dabba doo.
The Secret Origins is a long Phantom Girl origin, and it does for Phantom Girl what this annual is kind of doing for Ultra Boy, from birth to joining the Legion, basically.
Oh.
And same story from Phantom Girl's point of view, fighting Shugan, and then Ultra Boy shows up, and they fall in love right away.
Is Anne in that one too?
Yes, it happens the same way. Same dialogue. Yeah.
Very cool. Then we get my man Marla in, finally. Favorite character. Who's not a Legionnaire in the team. I am the one fan of this character.
I like him more and more, I guess.
I think this sort of reiterates the idea that he's sort of running like a little boys club thing or something, like he's trying to rehabilitate juvenile delinquents.
Yeah, there's something going on with him.
It's not nefarious, you son of a bitch. He just wants to help. He wants to pay it forward.
That's not what I mean. Like, I was thinking about, well, wait, how does he go and meet Marla even?
I think Marla has some kind of program or something. Like I don't know if they go into it much, but it seems like he took an interest in Jonah and he wants to give him a shot. He does say here, I know about your past and you can't pull those Brimborian shenanigans here. And
yeah, but there's kind of a storytelling leap and they skip over what happens in between meeting Phantom Girl and then being in Marla's office or wherever they're at.
Well, at the top, when we see him walking with Marla, it says, me, a tryout with the Legion. See, I assume that's Marla reaching out to him to give him a shot.
Yeah, I guess so. Marla's like being a recruiter or something like that.
And though I think you've said this before, like the idea of there only being one Legionnaire per planet, that's kind of a post-zero hour idea. Mm-hmm. It does sort of jive with this because the two people running or competing to be the next Legionnaire are both apparently from Rimbor.
Yeah, I was reading, it was online. It was on the Omnicom blog. Mm-hmm. He's talking about, interviewing Bierbaum about this version of Reflecto. Did you read that?
I did. And it's a little convoluted, but it actually works. He figures out a way to explain, like he tried to join early on but didn't make it. Then Ultra Boy temporarily impersonated him because he's like the greatest hero of Rimbor. He's already an established hero. That's where he, I guess subconsciously or whatever, gets the idea to impersonate that guy. But he already existed. So he wasn't just made from whole cloth when Superboy and Ultra Boy merged. He was impersonating this guy. And then this guy does finally make it onto the team officially during the gap and then dies.
Right. Yeah, he never does anything, though.
Again, you get the sense that Marla is taking him under his wing because Reflecto's not wearing an Ultra Boy costume. And he's clearly over there with his hand on Ultra Boy's shoulder, like this is his pet project or something.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, it almost seems like Marla is like giving Ultra Boy the answers or something on the test.
Well, yeah, he even has to go observe
Right. Marlowe's on the mission with Ultra Boy, his initiation mission.
Reflecto's on his own.
Yeah, there's no helper for Reflecto or nobody.
I mean, we can explain it away easily enough. We know Reflecto's an established hero. And also, he might not be sent back in time. Like, that's a pretty touchy, you can't fuck that up. You're going to fuck all history up if you do that wrong. Maybe you need to have some supervision if you're going to be traveling through time. And in fact, Marla does exactly that in this. He ends up yanking Ultra Boy back to the future because he knows, well, we'll get to it in the next page, I think.
I wanted to point out the scene between Ultra Boy and Anne Ride. Mm-hmm. When he's going to go to Earth to try out for the Legion. But he's like, listen, baby, I still love you. I'm going to come back a lot if I get on the team.
Yeah. It's actually nice. It's like kind of a real, it's not an overly dramatic breakup. Or it's like somebody going to college. Like, you get the sense they both know he's not really coming back or they're going to drift apart.
I don't know. I wanted them to incorporate Anne Ride a little bit more into the comic somehow.
Yeah.
But I get that the timeline doesn't make that possible. Like, the established stuff doesn't really make that possible. But yeah, this is the last we see of Anne Ride in this comic. And then when next she appears in continuity.
Yes.
And I also wish they had showed Anne Ride with her like Alice Cooper eyeshadow on. Yeah, because I thought that looked pretty cool. That was a good look for her.
But I think they're signaling here that she's gotten her life together, at least for a little while. I mean, she's not strung out in a drug house here. They're hanging out in the park.
But she can still have the cool makeup on.
Cool makeup is for drug addicts.
Oh, is that for sluts?
She's a nice girl.
All right.
When did she have the cool makeup? Is that earlier in this?
No, it's when she dies.
Oh, right.
So the new mission. We remember the original mission for Ultra Boy was to go back in time and unmask or to figure out Superboy's secret identity, right?
That's right.
And this one, it's not like that anymore because we don't have
detective work, I guess. I mean, there is a precedent for him being a detective, I suppose. Maybe more so than Chameleon Boy, who suddenly turned into Joe Friday overnight. Because there are a couple of stories where he has to be a detective.
Yeah, but his the extent of his detective work that's his first appearance, right?
Looking at everybody naked, seeing everything.
Right, he basically just looks through their clothes. Yeah, right. And he doesn't even do that particularly well. Right. Like initially, he thinks Pete Ross might be Superboy.
That's right.
And then what's he do? He, instead of like looking through Pete Ross's clothes or following Pete Ross home and seeing where he might hide his Superboy costume, he throws a boulder at Pete Ross.
That's right.
To see if he can, survive, I guess, or something like that.
Right.
So not a great detective. I wonder which of the three rules of the streets he's following then when he tries to like murder a guy back in the past.
Yeah, and an important historical figure at that.
But in this new updated version, he's supposed to find out whatever happened to Valor.
Right.
They're calling Largand. He used to be Mon-El. Now they're calling him Valor. And I think I was reading about the Invasion series, which kind of put him on the map in the 20th century.
Right.
And I guess they hadn't called him Valor. He gets his name Valor in that miniseries.
I'm trying to suss all this out. Like I don't remember exactly when in real time the Invasion miniseries hit. I assume it happened before this issue.
I think it happened after this issue.
Really? Okay.
I think so. I should look, though. Maybe I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, I thought it was a call back, but you're saying like this could have been like alluding to an upcoming series?
I think so, yeah.
I thought it was in the 80s.
Oh, it is. It says 1988. Never mind. I was trying to track down what made me think that he didn't start getting called Valor until after this. Maybe it wasn't in Invasion. Maybe it was in Legion 90 or something.
They're kind of selective about it in here. Like in several places, they're calling him Largand. That made me also think maybe Valor hadn't been established yet. But they do say Valor a couple times too. So maybe they're just being careful not to call him Valor when they're in the past because he hasn't gotten that name yet. So I think maybe Brainiac 5 might have referred to him as Valor.
Well, when they're about to go against Glorious at the beginning, they don't call him Valor, do they?
Okay, now Brainiac 5 calls him.
But I guess they're all hanging out as buddies, so they probably just are on a first name basis, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ultra Boy says don't take Lar along.
Right.
But they're all calling each other by their first names anyway, so they may not call him Valor all the time.
And everything I'm looking at now just keeps calling him Largan, like the Legend of Largan. Maybe they don't use Valor's name in here.
They do in the comic because Ultra Boy keeps looking at like a photo of him, and it says Valor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, his mission in the past, Ultra Boy's mission in the past for his initiation into the Legion is to find out what happened to Valor because there's a gap in their knowledge of his whereabouts between the 20th and the 30th century.
Yeah, I guess presumably, originally I thought what that meant was where he went. We know he went into the stasis zone or whatever they're calling it, the Phantom Zone. But we also know that they got him out, so at least originally, so you think they would know. Maybe they haven't gotten him out yet in this point in history.
Yeah, I think that must be it. Because, like the way I just said it, I guess, is inaccurate. The mission is it's not to find out what happened to him between the 30th century and the 20th century. The mission is to find out what happened to him because he stopped having any activity in the 20th century.
They say the disappearance.
Right.
Which maybe it means something else, but it makes you think like when he got thrown in the Phantom Zone, right? No?
Well, it makes you think that, I guess.
Yeah.
But since now we're in a world where there isn't a Phantom Zone,
right,
and we don't know the whole story of Largand,
right?
Maybe he didn't go in the Phantom Zone.
But if he was, they might not be aware of that yet because he's not on the team yet. He's not there.
Right.
Yeah, and they would need to send him to ask if he was on the team. They'd just, hey, why'd you disappear?
Yeah.
So the time travel page, I think that's my favorite page in the book, art-wise. Maybe it's the colors. I love the especially the bottom. Where
Ultra Boy and Marla are like getting old and young between the two panels.
Right. Yeah, I love those faces. I love that Marla page in the middle.
Yeah, it looks kind of Swannish, doesn't it?
Yeah. This reminds me of there was a Doctor Who episode in the 70s, early 80s, where the TARDIS is malfunctioning, or like the bad guy's trying to keep him from escaping. And when he tries going forward and backward in time, the other occupants, his human friends, are still locked into the present. So if he starts going decades into the future, they turn into very old people. So then he tries going backwards to escape, and they turn into children. It's almost like for a few seconds here, they're not being protected by the time bubble, and they're being affected by the years they're traveling.
Yeah, they're growing older and then growing younger again. Right. I thought while Ultra Boy became an adult, I misperceived what was going on. Mm-hmm. I thought Ultra Boy was getting older and Marla was getting younger, and then they swapped, but that's not really what happened.
Right.
I think the way I read it would actually have been a neater idea, but either way, it's kind of cool.
Maybe Marla was a professional wrestler at some point, and he gave Ultra Boy one of his costumes. Because he has that, it looks like a wrestling belt.
I was thinking that symbol may be like a 30th century Freemason type of symbol or something, like a secret society. Uh-huh. And Marla is initiating Ultra Boy into that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a story there. Maybe Ultra Boy at some point we find out there's like a dozen other guys who wear these costumes.
Yeah,
that he has secret meetings with.
Right, they wear hoods.
Right. So they finally make it to the past, though I don't think they're quite where they originally intended to land, and they run right into an alien invasion, which Largand also runs into, and Ultra Boy helps Lar fight them off.
This is not the invasion from the 3-issue miniseries, right? It's after that.
I thought this is before. This is before, I think. Like it's a prelude to that. Because this is when Largand becomes aware that there is going to be an invasion that he will later intervene in which will make him famous or a legend.
Okay. But see, the Dominator, cool Dominator drawing, by the way, he says another invasion of Earth.
That's true. That is true.
So yeah, I didn't know if this was supposed to happen after the Invasion miniseries, and the secret bases is maybe alluding to the Dominator ship that's actually going to happen in the Legion comic.
Oh, I don't know.
Or if it's, this is set before the invasion, and that's the invasion they're talking about.
I assumed it must be before, because I thought that Legion series is when he becomes a universe famous figure.
Right.
And Ultra Boy keeps reflecting on the fact that if he hadn't shown up when he had, Largan wouldn't have become famous. If this was after that and he died, he still would have been a legend. But I guess maybe I'm assuming the Invasion miniseries is the invasion that made him famous.
Yeah, see, I don't remember him being a big player in that, but it's been a while. See, I feel like Valor became a bigger player in like the Eclipso summer event. That's where his series came out of, right?
Okay, so he didn't. When did he seed all the worlds? Was that at the end of his series?
I don't know. I don't know when they ever even got around to actually having him do that.
See, I thought that was tied to Invasion, because I thought the reason they all had different powers was because the Dominators had been experimenting on them.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Yeah, after the Invasion must have been when he seeded all the different planets.
Right.
And then he came back and just started being a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Need to reread that. Anyway, after the Dominator tells him and presumably dies, Largan's like, yeah, we need to go stop this. You see Marla thinking about it, looking troubled, and then he basically yanks Joe onto the ship and he's like, we'll be back. I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And they leave. I think this is pretty good. I mean, they don't spell it out, but it's clear, like, I think what they're conveying here is Marla is realizing this is like an important moment in history and they can't get mixed up in it. They've got to get the heck out of there so they don't mess the future up, which I think might be part of the reason he is accompanying him to the past.
Oh, just to protect him so he doesn't get...
to protect the future.
Well, yeah, that too.
You know, not sending this rookie out on his own into a critical period of time.
But he makes the team. He's like, but I failed my mission. They're like, nah, we don't care.
We didn't expect you to win. They sent him on an impossible mission, they say, which is very in keeping with the prankster fraternity-ish haziness of the old 60s Legion.
Yeah, they fuck around with him, put him in danger.
Right. Right. Make people think they've been rejected till they cry, and then psych.
Right. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't like you have to go back to Rimbor now, and by the way, all your friends are dead. And he's like, what? Right. And then he goes back to Rimbor, and a month later, they're like, you passed the final test. You're in.
Oh, I love the faces. I love this guy's face.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, some of these faces, like of Mon-El over here. Mm-hmm. Mon-El's doing a really good confused look there.
Yep.
And the one on the page before it, where Mon-El's kind of yelling, it has this real like kind of Russ Manning kind of look to it.
I like the hair there. It looks like they're in the wind.
Yeah, he has some good little flourishes here and there. Did we record it before when I was talking about Dougie Braithwaite? And the only other Dougie Braithwaite artwork I could find in my collection is the A1 True Life Bikini Confidential.
Ooh la la.
This cover is by Gary Leach, who did a little bit of Legion stuff, and who I think Braithwaite kind of looks like. His artwork kind of looks like. But this is the Braithwaite artwork in this thing. This kind of, I don't know, almost like Michael Zulli looking fantasy stuff, or not Zulli, but who's that other guy who did a bunch of Neil Gaiman type of stuff? Charles Vess type of fantasy stuff almost. But it seems like a lot more rigorous, a lot deeper detailed backgrounds in this.
Well, yeah, and it's also, or like fantasy comics, like comics that were intended to be done, published in black and white. So there's a lot more blacks in it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like your monthly comic or your deadline 64-page comic couldn't look like this unless you had 2 years to do it.
Right. And I don't know. I feel like that's, I don't know. When I see a lot of the guys who did a lot of spotting of blacks in their pages after they pulled the color out. It looks inferior, or like it's counterproductive in some ways. Like I don't think it necessarily looks as good to color something with a lot of blacks in it.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. A lot of good artwork in this book. Well, I was saying that this bikini comic was the only Braithwaite stuff I had in my collection. But I guess he did some of that Earth X stuff. Like they had the original Earth X Marvel miniseries that was by John Paul Leon.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had some like subsequent like spin-offs or something. I think he did like all of that stuff.
Universe X or something like that.
Yeah. But prior to this Legion comic, this dude was doing like licensed comics, UK versions, Ghostbusters, Doctor Who, G.I. Joe.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like he'd do a good Doctor Who. It would look just like those Dave Gibbons ones, you know?
Right. Yeah, I was thinking like he reminds me kind of some of the Star Trek artists from back in the day, or like using a lot of photo reference.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if his other stuff is a little more dynamic than this Legion issue, because it really seems static and just like guys walking around and talking and stuff, you know?
Well, like those TV show adaptations are like this too. They're more static like this.
And like a G.I. Joe comic, like I only have ever read one or two G.I. Joes. Like they're not like an Image comic whatsoever, right? They're also kind of like just guys in green clothes jumping out of a Jeep.
Yeah, I don't know. They're a lot more actiony than even this, and they got imagey later, unfortunately.
But yeah, I'm curious. I kind of like his artwork.
So was he on like 2000 AD?
I think he did some of that too, yeah.
Well, it looks like he's done at least some covers to Milestone Comics.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, I recognize his name from back then.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't ever on anything I read. But like the Earth X stuff, that's all like, it's all kind of art directed by Alex Ross or something, you know? It's like,
right.
Seems like you would have to have a pretty solid, versatile artist if he was going to be doing a bunch of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be curious to look at those. I bought that original Earth X and liked it back then, but I have no idea. I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, I was reading that too, the first one. I mean, it seemed in a lot of ways it was Kingdom Come all over again, but maybe a little more experimental, actually, right? They're doing more radical things to some of those guys. They're mutated. Right, the Terrigen mists from Kirby's Inhumans. I didn't think I could be more cynical, but just a fucking horror show, man. Like, you just get everything you care about, like, ripped away from you.
You mean like as you get older or whatever?
Yeah, totally. I've probably said this a million times already, but it's like we're also, not all of us, but many of us are so angsty when we're young people, teenagers in your early 20s. It's like, what do you have to be angsty about?
Right.
You know, like, probably nobody super close to you has died yet. You get to a point where you only ever go to funerals eventually. Like, that's what my grandparents would joke about all the time. The only reason they left the house was to go to funerals, and all their friends were dead. You just get fatter and dumber. Like, your IQ goes down, your mental acuity, your memory. Like,
you're hitting close to home right now.
I know, man. It's just all downhill. You know, your cells are constantly replacing themselves, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of them every day. And like, eventually you have flaws and copies, you know, and they think like a lot of aging is actually a result of that. Like, what we think of as aging comes from the accumulation of these errors in like the code. But there's one common thing that can happen, common mistake that causes cells to not understand that they need to stop dividing at some point. And it's just kind of an odds game. Like, it's sort of a miracle that we don't all end up with cancer really early, that we can make it like 60, 70, 80 years sometimes without that happening. But it's just a matter of time, you know. That's why nothing lives forever. That's why we reproduce early in our lives before we've accumulated too many flaws in our DNA. I'm trying to beat the odds, you know.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. There's no flaws in my DNA.
Yet. It's fucking crazy. I don't know what it is, like a hormone, or there's something in your body that goes and finds cells and can like fix them sometimes, and you have less and less of it as you age too. So that might have something to do with why it seems to hit older people more, other than just the odds game.
Why don't they just inject us with more of that?
Good question.
That's what they did to Jimmy Carter, I bet.
No, that it's hilarious, kind of, right? Like, he's been on hospice for like 5 fucking years or something.
Right. Yeah,
he hasn't died yet.
I mean, I don't care. Like, more power to him, but what the hell? Like, that's got to be costing us taxpayers a lot of money. Keep him in that $20,000 a week hospice.
I don't know. Like, how old is he? He's not 100.
I don't
he's got to be getting close.
Yeah, he's in his 90s for sure.
Had I known we'd be electing 80-year-old idiots, like, we probably should have reelected him, like instead of Trump or Bush Sr.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, he was done when he was 50 or whatever. He's been coasting around, but like these other son of a bitches, like, they're almost his age and they're still trying to be elected.
It's crazy seeing old footage of Biden in like 1970. He already looked old as shit. He had like a terrible comb over.
Yeah, he had brown hair at least, I guess.
Yeah.
He looks totally like a cadaver now when you see him.
Well, they had like these politicians, like John McCain had this too, like these weird hairstyles. The stylists are blow drying their comb overs or something, like, to make it kind of look fuller. I don't know. It's very strange.
Like, some of these guys, like, they know how to, like, I don't know, how to make themselves look like a good looking person. And then these other guys are just like Bernie Sanders or something. Like, this dude is not thinking about his hair, you know, and then somebody has to come in and try and work on that.
Right.
And it's like, and I don't imagine McCain is like primping, you know what I mean? Yeah, there was some, I don't know, it was like say a year ago, like there was these stories going around about like, how come all these former hippie yoga instructor type people in the West Coast are like anti-vaxxer, and you know what I mean? Like, people who used to be anti-establishment, they wore the Che Guevara t-shirt and shit, like those kind of people. Now they're like, well, I'm not taking no fucking vaccine from the government, you know? It's weird. It's like it all kind of, heads the same direction in a way.
Yeah, but a lot of those people are also boomers. So
yeah, they're all
they got older and started getting pissed off about their taxes.
How do you avoid that? Is that going to happen to you and me? You know?
I don't think so. It's definitely not going to happen to me. I don't know. Maybe you'll have a hit TV series and it could affect you, but
I don't think so. I think this is the last good job I ever have.
First of all, I don't think you don't really hear this happening to like the young black liberal as he gets older.
Yeah.
It's the white dudes. But I'm not getting richer. If anything, I'm probably getting poorer as time goes on because of inflation and all that. As long as you don't become successful in any way, you're safe.
Yes. As long as you don't become successful.
Right.
The curse of success.
I mean, these jobs are designed for, or redesigned once they kick the unions out, to be kid jobs. But the kid jobs are all full of grown-ups now.
Yeah.
Who've gotten, their job became obsolete, but they can't afford to retire at 50 or 60. So
I wonder what, like, I keep thinking about, like, daydreaming about when I have to go back and be a bartender at the Olive Garden in my next job.
Right.
Like, just now I'm thinking, like, are those jobs, like those waiting table jobs, are they all full of people over 40 now? Or are they still like college kids and high school kids and stuff? Because that's kind of what it was, 20 some years ago when I worked there. It's like we were all like, there, like, I remember like somebody was like, that guy's 30. And we're like, what the fuck? He's 30? And it's like, now, like, I could go back there and I'd be the dude trying to keep a secret of how old I am and People are like,
yeah,
David's 48 years old. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is like, they're 35 and they think it's crazy that I'm 48 or something, you know? Like when I can't find a job again, what the fuck? Like I really will have to go like wait tables or something, you know? But
and then you're like, will they even give you a job by then? It's like, yeah, I don't know if you can be standing that long.
Yeah. Well, you just have to lie.
These places can only have so many like greeters at the door. What are you going to do with all these old people who can't
I have to
lift heavy boxes?
I have to get swole as an old guy and like
get swole.
Yeah. Dye my hair and stuff and be like, no, I'm not 50. I'm 32, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm an old looking 32.
Out in the sun a lot.
And like they see me like popping 3 Advils like every 2 hours. Like, what's going on, David? Nothing. I don't have a problem.
Is he old?
I'm fine.
I have a feeling he's old.
He seems old.
Did you hear that music he was listening to?
Yeah. He started talking to me about Pearl Jam. Who is this old fuck?
He's an old. They find clipping of you. You're taken to the office. Is this you at Lollapalooza?
Right.
Or some shit? That's my dad. We look a lot alike.
Yeah, like every day I have to like get real clean shaven, you know, make sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like Gattaca, only not getting old.
Gattaca. Oh man.
Like, wasn't he like showering like thoroughly and trying to get every single skin cell off? It's never made any sense.
He'd get out of that chamber and it would set on fire and incinerate everything inside. Right. Man, that movie was good. I watched that movie and I felt so sad and depressed. I watched that movie because I was like stuck in my hometown, you know, all my friends and shit. And I was like 18 or 19 when I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh man. I went to that movie by myself to watch it, you know, at like,
oh, you did?
And it was like a 10 o'clock showing or something, you know. It was so depressing.
Why are they always depressing? Feature never is good in any of these stories.
I don't know.
Minority Report. There's like a slew of these like somewhat realistic, somewhat probabilistic feature movies in the 90s. You're not excited like Star Wars. You're like, oh God, we're fucked.
Well, yeah, it's all about like taking away your freedom of expression and like, yeah, your ability just to live a normal life.
Right.
You have to be genetically exceptional or rich or both. Yeah, you're fucked. It's so shitty. I mean, they're true. It seems really accurate in a way.
Yeah. But I feel like everyone takes the wrong lessons from them. They all are worried about like Big Brother, like the government. It's like, you don't worry about big corporation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're the same kind of.
Yeah.
Those big corporations are controlling the government, right?
Right. I guess that's true. Marvel doesn't even, like, I'll see like a Walt Simonson Thor alternate cover, but it's on like Daredevil. And Thor's not even in there. It's like, what the fuck?
That is weird. They
do shit like that sometimes. And then, I mean, some of the covers look great, but I hate them because if I'm flipping through all these books I've bought over the last couple of years from my son or whatever, like there's nothing on the cover. There's a bunch of like nice painted Superman covers flying at you. But there's nothing on the cover that informs you of the content, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess they must have. Like, it just is not cool anymore to have, like, cover copy, you know? Like, it used to be, like...
Well, at least have Superman fighting Brainiac, if Brainiac is in that issue, you know? But they're all just, like, pinups, basically.
I think maybe maybe in the olden days, there was an editor or there was a covers editor who worked in-house and who would thumbnail out all the covers. Like, they had to read all the comics, and they would be like, you know, like Gil Kane or Dave Cockrum or whoever, or Infantino. And
Infantino, I think, did exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they would sketch out a cover design for another artist. And I don't think people do that anymore. Like a graphic design person who can do this stuff.
I think they probably prefer it just to be more like a pinup so they can use it on whatever issue they want to slot it into.
But geez, make it a whole package. I don't get it.
It's fucking dumb.
I mean, like, yeah, they want to fool me into thinking that I can just pick up a comic and it'll be a Superman fighting somebody comic. But I know better than that. Like, I know that this comic is impenetrable plot wise.
Right.
And so like it's their last ditch to get anyone to buy that comic, huh? It's like they just think it'll be like an episode of Super Friends and it'll make sense. But
I feel like it's like we're not going to be able to get more people in, so let's get these junkies to buy like multiple copies of the same thing.
It's embarrassing.
And it sort of works with me, but not on purpose. I think it's a new issue. And then I find out after I bring it home, wait a minute, I've already read this one.
Yeah. I really wonder what the thinking is behind. Like, I kind of get the variant cover, like for comic shops or something. Like there's some incentive. If you buy 20 of these, you get one of this one or something, like, okay. Mm-hmm. And they can sell that to their customers for more money or something like that. Okay. But the deal that they have now, where it's like they have the regular one that's $3.99, outrageously expensive. And then they have the same one with a cardstock cover with different artwork for $4.99. Like, why are they doing that? What's that for? You know? Because I think they could probably come in the same ratio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That sort of annoys me because I like the cardstock covers, but a lot of times I'll like the floppy cover better.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the floppy cover is like the default one. Like when you...
The A cover, the best one, the one they chose to be the main cover. Yeah. Or it's the cover that might actually give you an idea of what the issue's about.
Exactly. Yeah, like when you look at it on the website and they put both of them like on the DC Universe Infinite, this is the first one. Is the $3.99 one, and then you scroll and you see this. The second one is the $4.99 one. I don't know. Like what?
The cardstocks are way better when you have a kid reading them. Is it because the cover stays on better? I mean, I had problems with covers coming off my comics when I was a kid too, but I feel like these new, sometimes the covers seem like they're flimsier than the pages on the inside, and they just slip right off.
Oh shit! Huh? Yeah, I haven't bought them to know.
Right.
I'm surprised they're hanging on, to be honest. Like, I'm surprised COVID didn't destroy, like it almost did, I guess, but like, I'm surprised the comic shops are still in business. I'm surprised they're still publishing monthly comic books at all. It doesn't make any sense that they're still hanging on. Especially in the days where all the like media companies, they're laying off everybody left and right and trying to like make their company, you know, like we just got this email from our bosses at Paramount about how like, we're going to basically, if you boil down the corporate speak where they're trying to make us all feel great about the shit they're saying, when what they're saying is we're going to be laying off people. We're going to be selling parts of the company to make money, you know, like that's what they're all doing. And somehow Marvel and DC are still publishing comic books. What the hell? Who? Like, did they forget these companies exist? You know, that we own these things. We can get rid of them because they're stupid and pointless.
Right. Yeah. And then, like, the comic shops have outlived Comixology. Like, that had a potential future, and like Amazon just bought it and destroyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's pretty weird. I don't know. Like, as a cartoonist and somebody who's made comics, I guess I'm glad that they're holding on, but.
Right. I didn't see you open this. What is this? Is this your,
This is this thing called, it's like a cat or a convention book.
Oh, cool.
From the 79 Comic Art Convention. I had it on my like eBay want list, and one came up that was kind of a good price.
John Buscema went?
I guess he was at it, yeah.
That's weird.
Like, these guys are the guests, the special guests.
The Buscemas kind of famously swore off conventions, like maybe in the 70s. Maybe they weren't making very much money there, and it was taking away their weekends, so both of them stopped going.
I think I must have got it because it has this ad that has some Legionnaires in it, and then there's this Kurt Swan thing written by Paul Levitz, but it's like, it's not an interview, it's just this kind of puff piece. But it has these adventure covers kind of in it.
Very cool.
So it's not super interesting. I guess his Buscema art's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of a neat time capsule. Nostalgia Festival and Exhibition 1979.
They kind of started in the mid 70s, right? Like proper comic conventions.
I think maybe earlier than that even.
I know there was like maybe some sporadic one-off things, maybe even in the 60s, but
yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking. Like, this is that guy Phil Suling, I think, did this. He was a comic distributor guy and kind of kicked off having comic book conventions.
Okay. Wow, they were doing like masterworks of the EC stuff that far back.
Yeah, those Russ Cochran things. Everybody like they come in those big slipcases.
Yeah, I've seen them around.
I mean, 1979 does, like, thinking about it, it's not that long ago, you know, like 1980, like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Marshall Rogers.
Yeah, a little piece on Marshall Rogers. Never seen a picture of him before. Yeah, I only flipped through this. I only read the Kurt Swan thing. Some black and white Marshall Rogers stuff. Oh, yeah, here's another con. Pittsburgh. George Romero, Tom Savini, Kirk Allen, Buster Crabbe, Carolyn Monroe. It's a good lineup. Oh, and they're showing all these movies? Wow.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of really good drawings in here. I remember liking the art in the second annual, too. It's a little wonkier. It's more... I don't remember, kind of Bart Searsy.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember who drew that.
It was Peterson, Brandon Peterson.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What else did he do?
He did 3 of the regular issues, the Kund War thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to become like a Jim Lee clone.
Oh.
Like did some image stuff like Stormwatch or something maybe.
Oh.
So we're here on 25.
Do you think we talked about him being sworn in? I don't think there's much to say.
Yeah.
Other than they sent him on an impossible mission just to test his improvisational skills. I don't know. His aptitudes.
Yeah, is that the only reason why he was on that mission? They're like, haha, you couldn't have ever solved this problem.
It was just, yeah, it's consistent with the Silver Age Legion, who is constantly pranking and hazing members.
Yeah, I mean,
send him on a mission, he'll fail for sure.
This one seems a little bit less cut and dry, though, because they don't say why it was an impossible mission exactly. And it's like, why is this a prank, I guess? I don't. It's just kind of dumb to put it in that category, for it to be in that category.
I think we might have mentioned before, it's kind of weird that they don't know how I disappeared, but I guess this is probably before issue 300, right? Well, obviously it would be. So maybe they didn't know at this point he was in the stasis zone, or
a new reader who started with issue 1 of the 5 years later series probably will be totally lost throughout this whole comic. But yeah, that part specifically, because we don't have a timeline available to us to tell us that Ultra Boy joined the Legion, like before they knew whatever happened to Mon-El or something like that, or before.
There's no Superboy to say, hey, my buddy's stuck in here. Can you take a look?
Right, yeah, that's true too. Do you know what issue Superboy's big brother was in?
That's a tough one. I feel like Mon-El showed up first. Yeah, he did. The Big Brother story it's like it's quite a bit before Ultra Boy's initiation issue. Was that the question, or what was it?
Yeah. I was just trying to see if we could pin down who showed up first. And
well, what's also interesting is the very next Legion appearance after Ultra Boy's first appearance is Adventure 300.
Yeah. So they're in the process of revising all that stuff to kind of fit the absence of Superboy now. Right.
But they've sort of dodged his actual being put into the zone, because that's probably still a going concern in Legion.
Yeah. Back in whoever's running the 20th century version of DC Comics is in charge of that. Which that has to have also been some kind of a frustration for these guys, that the Mon-El Valor Largan character, he's a Legion guy, but now they're also somebody else is handling him in the other comics, and
Phantom Girl. Tom
and Mary have no clout to control that stuff, and their editor probably has no clout to control that stuff either.
So they can only kind of peripherally use him.
The reason we don't know whatever happened to him is because it's not up to us to decide whatever happened to him, He's an important Legion character, but we don't get to tell you what his origin was in this thing,
Right. I think I've mentioned this half a dozen times, but I feel like we could have almost devoted this show entirely to issues retelling that Superboy story, because it seems like every 5 or so years they try to revive Mon-El in the present, and each and every time they retell putting him into the Phantom Zone. And it's always a different way.
Yeah, I know they had him in like the clone Superboy comic. I think I have that one. But yeah, even later than that, he was kind of a big player in like the...
Well, he was like in the JLA, I think, for a minute.
Oh, really?
Too. Yeah.
Weird.
And then not not too long ago. I don't remember if it's probably before New 52. There was like this new Krypton storyline.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
That might have been the same period he was in the JLA, but he basically became Superman for a while, or he was filling in for him.
Right.
Superman was elsewhere.
He was stuck in Kandor or some shit like that.
I don't know if you remember this, but in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a Superman beat-em-up video game, arcade game.
No, I don't remember that. Was Mon-El in that?
Well,
he was Player 2?
Player 2 was Superman, only with the colors inversed.
Right.
So we always thought he was Mon-El.
Right, he's Superman's big brother, Mon-El.
It's kind of a cool game. You probably just watch bits of it on YouTube. So he's already had the revelation that, or has he, that it has to be more than a coincidence.
On the bottom of the page where he's inducted into the team, he's thinking something doesn't add up.
So he wants to run it by a resident super genius, which I just imagine there's quotes around that, who dismisses him. Brainiac 5 dismisses his concerns because Brainiac 5 is so smart.
He has better shit going on than to think about these trifles.
He's such a dummy.
He says, you probably just displaced some other event in time that would have accomplished the same thing.
I feel like this guy is almost better at the face shadows than Giffen. Like, maybe Giffen's just became... He's not even trying to represent things anymore. It's just become more abstract. I feel like this guy's really good at that.
Oh, yeah. This guy is... He's good at the... What would you call it? Like the intense emotional lighting, I guess.
Right.
Like here. It's funny. Three of the 8 panels on this page is a guy like putting his finger to his lips.
I know. But like that, the Brainiac 5 there is just like his whole face is shadow except for his nose.
Yeah, I think Dougie Braithwaite is a good illustrator. This comic is not dynamic. It's not an exciting superhero comic, but also, I mean, he's at the mercy of the script, which is also not an exciting superhero comic. It's all talky,
right?
But his acting is pretty good versus some of these guys. Giffen does pretty good acting. One of these we looked at not too long ago was really bad, really kind of hammy.
I feel like Giffen is hit and miss. Like sometimes his acting's a little silly. Especially when tears are involved.
Yeah, I feel like he's a guy who doesn't really quite understand emotion either.
Right.
Like Levitz, like he's for that kind of stuff, he and Levitz are not a good team because neither one of them is
right.
Like a warm person or a
right. There's no like quiet sadness. They're very overtly these big drooly tears.
I mean, it's like Levitz is talking to Giffen on the phone, and it's like, oh yeah, when somebody dies, this is how people act, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, totally, big, yeah, snot, all that stuff, you know?
Yeah, I wish it had snot. That would make it more real than like the two streams, the two single big streams going down each cheek.
of white creamy tears.
Right. There needs to be more snot and red faces and. It's an embarrassing process.
This is a Tom McGraw problem, I think.
So then the resident narc shows up, Invisible Kid, who I believe rats out Ultra Boy on his theory, his secret hunt.
Yeah, what does he do? It doesn't turn up until later, that Invisible Kid told Brainiac 5 everything.
He kind of fucked everything up. It's kind of all his fault.
Oh, that's why he deserved what he got. He died.
Or did he die?
Yeah, he did.
He's with that chick in the other dimension, right? Like when he got killed by Validus. It ended showing him like in another dimension with this. Like he's in love with this girl in this dream dimension or something throughout the issue. It's kind of creepy in a way because then it's like, is this girl that he's communicating with through dreams or whatever it was she dead all along and he's in the land of the dead with her now for his happily ever after? I don't know. You'd have to read it to know what I'm talking about.
Nah, it sounds cool.
Well, anyway, Invisible Kid points Joe to R.J. Brand because he's a 20th century buff. And this is one of many of Joe's. He takes like these amazingly accurate but completely improbable leaps of logic. He must have ultra detective skills because just finding out that he's a 20th century buff alone is provocation enough for him to break into his
Well, yeah.
HQ and crack his safe.
Didn't Marla send him there too, though? Yeah, see, Marla says that some shit happened in 2949, and then Joe discovers a disturbance in the time stream happened in 2949 at the spaceport. No, Marla says his happened in the spaceport.
I think this is where that code of the street starts to work against him, because wasn't one of the rules like, don't let them know what you know. So he can't just ask him. He's going to have to like break in and look for notes.
Yeah, but then they also sort of cheat, because once Ultra Boy breaks into RJ Brand's place and Brand confronts him, they sort of like blackmail each other.
Right.
But it kind of cheats the don't let them know what you know, and all that playing it close to the vest stuff, where it's like,
right,
I'm going to tell you everything, kind of, just don't tell anybody else. Pinky swear.
I don't think I would trust my boss on that. Suddenly I'd be assigned all the most dangerous missions. And then it's like, why is it a secret? Why is it so secret? Why does RJ feel like he can't tell anyone this?
Everybody deserves their privacy. Actually, that's probably a bigger issue 1,000 years from now, where you probably have no privacy. And so like it's respected maybe way more, like a person's privacy, not like, like remember when we were kids?
No.
Your parents would use like their social security number as, I don't know what, like you would like write it down and give that number to somebody for stuff. And then eventually it's like, you don't fucking give that number to anybody. They'll steal your identity, like within about 15 years, you know?
Yeah. In my case, it was always that way. My old man was crazy about that shit. I guess he turned out to be right, but he would always get in arguments with video stores for memberships. He's like, why do you need my social security number? You're not getting my social security number.
Right. I guess I'm thinking that 1,000 years in the future, like asking somebody to tell you any private information about them would be like, hey, Dan, give me your social security number so I can sign you up for a website. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, I wouldn't do that, like I just know better than to do that, because I wouldn't give you mine. I don't want you to give me yours, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So that's probably what it's like in the future. So these two dudes, Brand and Ultra Boy, sort of come to an agreement when Ultra Boy's looking for information in Brand's collection of ludicrous 20th century artifacts. He promises not to spill the beans about anything he learns. And then Brand, what does Brand have on Ultra Boy? I don't know. They're just not going to share anything.
Well, he can't fire Ultra Boy because Ultra Boy is on to him, right?
I guess just the idea that Ultra Boy broke in, and like that would be a terminal offense if you were to do that. But Ultra Boy's like, you just have to trust me. I know that you're an alien from 1,000 years ago and not this doddering old plutocrat. And so they sort of each have something on the other, and they're going to agree to keep it a secret and not, act on that information against one another.
I'm not sure. I'm still not, like, Marla talks about the 2049 disturbance, but he doesn't mention, like, that's when I met RJ.
Yeah.
So he's making a leap there.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like he's right to investigate this guy who's like the richest guy in the universe and who has a huge interest in the 20th century.
Did Marla at any point in that story realize he was a Durlian? I know he saved him as a Durlian, and then didn't he like meet him again years later as RJ? Did he ever figure out within that story that he's the same dude?
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Seems like if anyone would have known, it would have been him.
Well, yeah. I mean, Marla should have been talking to Ultra Boy a little more often, because Ultra Boy would have solved that deal right off.
Right. And then there's like, does this mystery spring back up? Like, what happens when Ultra Boy realizes he is a Durlian after he gets the Yogian fever or whatever it was called during the Secrets of the Legion story?
Ultra Boy just keeps his mouth shut. He doesn't want anyone to know what he knows. And the other two rules of the streets, whatever those are.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, and don't trust Whitey.
Smelt it, dealt it. Yeah. Right. So he somehow deduces that they must have swapped places in time.
He doesn't deduce that until much later. He figures out that, Brand must be from the past. I think that's about all he knows. Maybe he thinks that Brand and Largand switched places. Is that what you meant? That could be possible.
Well, on page... Are we on 30 yet?
I'm still on page 29. I'll flip over to 30.
You're doing way back there. Get with the program.
Yeah, he says it just somehow made sense that the same manipulator also had a hand in the making of R.J. Brand, the guy who started the Legion. Yeah, I guess he's just putting two and two together somehow. It's a stretch, like you said.
So then we have, because Invisible Kid went and told Brainiac 5. Brainiac 5 looks into the time disturbance, and that's where they discover Glorith, I guess. Like this would be replacing maybe when they first became aware of the Time Trapper.
Yeah, this Iron Curtain of Time thing is from the old days of Adventure Comics.
Yep.
Back when they would rip concepts from the headlines to stick in their comic books.
Oh, right.
You remember the Iron Curtain of communism. So beyond the Iron Curtain of Time is red communist Glorith manipulating the free society in secret, the free society of 30th Century United Planets.
Right. So they are sent out to try to penetrate the Iron Curtain of Time, as they did several times in the Silver Age. Though it's a little different this time. They're on time bubbles. I'm not exactly sure why that's the case. Maybe it's because this is in the post-crisis universe where Superman doesn't have limitless powers, and thus Mon-El probably also cannot just travel through time by flying really fast. Because in the old stories, the three of them, Superboy, Mon-El, and Ultra Boy, would all just fly and do the time warp thing. And then they'd kind of piggyback on each other and try to ram into it all at the same time. But post-crisis Superman is significantly depowered, and probably the same is true of Mon-El.
Yeah, they can't travel through time under their own power.
Right. So they're in the time bubbles this time, and
they smash their bubbles into the Iron Curtain, and that's what makes Ultra Boy realize that Glorith is the big manipulator. Precisely in the middle of this comic book is when Ultra Boy figures out the whole thing.
I mean, I'm trying to wrap my mind around all this. Like, is it geographically, is it just around the Baldur system? But it should be just the future, period, right? Like, Time Trapper is like the Lord of the End of time. So is Glorith also, like, she exists in the present as a person, but maybe by the time you reach the end of time, she's running everything. Like, that's her domain in the same way it was Time Trapper.
Yeah, I don't think they ever say that her domain is the end of time in the way they did with the regular Time Trapper or the original Time Trapper back then.
It seems like it has to, right? Because that's the whole point. The whole point in there being an Iron Curtain of Time, to keep them from reaching him.
Yeah, the Iron Curtain of Time in this comic is 30 days in the future. They can't travel more than a month into the future.
Right.
And I guess presumably that's the same way back in the 1960s.
I don't remember if they specified it that much, but I like it better this way than being just some nebulous time in the future. And it seems more likely that you'd run into it that way because you can't go take a peek.
Right.
Like Superboy or someone just wants to see how things turn out, and he realizes you can't go there anymore.
Right. What you could do is you could figure out what the numbers are for Powerball, because that's usually just every week. So you could do that if you had a time bubble.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking that they kind of allude to the location of Glorith's domain at the beginning of this comic.
Well, they said the barrier originated in the Baldur system.
Yeah.
Home of upstart Empress Glorith.
But see, in the sort of retelling of Baxter issue number 50, it's the caption box says Baldur, I don't know how you say it. Mm-hmm. That's where they go to confront her, and she says, "Welcome to my palace." So I guess she just is still headquartered on Baldur in the 31st century.
Well, they couldn't get through the Iron Curtain of Time, so they go back and report to the team.
Oh yeah, Ultra Boy points out that he's like, "Whew, thank goodness Saturn Girl has scruples about reading people's minds, because if Saturn Girl will just use her powers anytime she's in the room with Older Boy, all this would come undone. Like, like that's a huge plot
preserver. I mean, if she was reading everybody's minds, it would mess up untold numbers of stories.
Yeah,
because she'd always be on to her teammates.
Like they put this caption box in there just to cover their asses, because somebody's going to be like, well, I bet Saturn Girl knew, and they can be like, no, Saturn Girl doesn't read people's minds without their permission, even though she's done it a million times before. Usually she doesn't do it. She doesn't do it anymore.
Right.
So we covered our bases on that one.
There's some interesting inaccuracies here. Like we got the science police. I'm not sure. Maybe they were established by then, but they certainly weren't dressed like that yet. I'm pretty sure Matter Eater Lad wasn't around by this point.
Oh, really? That can't be right. Surely the Bierbaums knew this.
I wish they would have remembered, because it's like the most cringy dialogue in the entire book.
Totally dorky joke. I don't even want to talk
bad
about it. It's so stupid.
Like, even before it was unquestionably bad to say things like that, even when it was okay to say things like that, this would not have gotten a laugh. It's so bad.
Like, you remember those Justice League International comics? Yeah. And they were real funny, like real smart, good timing, funny comic. Giffen and DeMatteis doing those comics. And then those guys left the comic. And then Dan Jurgens started writing the comic.
Oh, those were dark days.
This kind of joke is like what Blue Beetle was kidding around like in a Dan Jurgens Justice League comic.
Right.
Just like trying real hard to try and do anything to make me laugh, I guess.
Right.
Just trying to shoehorn a joke in there for some reason, because this is a funny guy. Like, if you're not capable, just don't do it. You're better off not doing it. But that takes up a third of this page, is bullshit with Matter Eater Lad trying to be funny.
I can only guess the bottom half has something to do with the Secret Origins. Like, is this recapping something in Secret Origins?
Oh, yeah, it's totally in the Secret Origins, which I have right here.
See, I had not read that. So, like, the scenes with them that seem really redundant to me probably pay off that I read both. It's got this great panel, though, on the bottom that I'm sure it's Kurt Swan inspired, but it reminds me of Klaus. So I feel like he's used that face a couple of times.
The kind of grimace look on the bottom of page 32. Right. It's kind of like Klaus, like just because he did those like just straight on, like all the covers of 8-Ball kind of have this. But yeah, this dialogue is sort of between Ultra Boy and Phantom Girl, sort of 1-to-1 from the Secret Origins.
Okay.
And like, I hadn't looked at the Secret Origins either until after I read Annual. And there's the part where, like, the idea behind the sequence is that Ultra Boy is thanking Phantom Girl for like supporting him when all the other Legionnaires thought he was a traitor. And he's like, your friendship means a lot to me. And then she's like, my friendship? Well, I want to fuck you, you know? And he's like, well, I didn't know you thought of me that way. That's kind of what the whole premise is.
Yeah, that he catches on is beyond me, because I'm not sure I would have caught on if a woman exploded on me like that. Be like, what, bitch? Okay, see you later. She's like, I'm not one of your like Rimburian sluts. You know, just like.
That's the part that kind of threw me off, is when she calls women from Rimbor tarts, you know, like, yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to date you after that either. If you
right. His expression totally makes sense there. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. But if you read the Secret Origins, it sort of makes sense, because there's the Secret Origins is the Phantom Girl Secret Origins. And it talks about how she's like this rich, stuck-up person, and she's supposed to be like a good socialite back on Big Zittle, but she's broken away. But she still has these kind of ideas of superiority or something, you know?
Right, and he's poor. He's like a poor guy.
Yeah, he's a poor guy. He's from
the wrong side of the tracks. Juvenile delinquent.
It just seems like, these two are not right for her. She's kind of a B.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she loves him, but she's also still kind of looking down her nose at him in a way, you know? These guys have had like the best, most idealized kind of relationship among Legionnaire relationships. But I think they actually probably should have had more hurdles than they did, because she seems like a snob and he seems like a gang member who's not going to tell you anything because he's repressing his emotions and following the laws of the streets or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you could have gotten a lot of mileage out of that relationship if they were willing to show a dysfunctional relationship or like real fights.
I think they sort of approached that with them in the rebooted post 0 hour story. I think they sort of approached that a little bit more realistically, because I think he was a bigger gangster and she was like the daughter of like a politician or something like that. And so there was a little bit more of this culture clash, I think, that they played up.
Do you remember if they, spoiler at the end of this, it appears like they've changed it so Big Zittle is not in the same place as Earth, just out of phase with it. Did they go back to that after 0 hour? Because I think that comes back somewhere along the way.
Oh, I didn't know it went away. In this annual, you think it went away?
Well, she gets on a ship to fly away, and that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he's not on Earth, and she's flying back towards...
Yeah, they could have been on Rimbo or something. We might find out by the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing I noticed about, this is on the next page, 33. It looks like they touched up her face, Phantom Girl's face, to make her look younger. I think Braithwaite drew these guys to look adult all the way through, and then for some reason they wanted to make sure that Phantom Girl looked teenage on this page, and so like you can see how she looks a little bit kind of grown up on the previous page when she's chewing him out. But then over here, she looks like there's a lot of detail. To me, it looks like it's actually it was there and was removed and whited out or something. The second panel on page 33.
I sort of doubt it was age. I thought probably an editor's like, she looks too ugly.
But she doesn't look cute exactly. You know, like she's prettier, I think, here, even though she's making a mad face. To me, it looks like somebody was like, get rid of the cheekbones and get rid of the stuff under her eyes or something so she'll look more youthful. Just a theory.
Yeah. I bet they like whited out like Shadow.
Yeah.
Because he seems to cast shadow on so many faces.
Right. And I feel like it was to make her look like more of a kid for some reason, like out of the blue, you know, like everybody up to now has really looked grown up, you know, like Ultra Boy's supposed to be 16 or something here. Like I flipped back to page 30. He doesn't look like a 15-year-old. He looks like he's 35.
Right.
And so I feel like somewhere in this like cutesy relationship sequence, they're like, make sure these guys look like young lovers or something. Cool drawing of Moore drew on this next page. Ultra Boy's out wandering the streets, the snowy streets of Metropolis.
It's a very good drawing with a very notable error. Like it's almost a preposterous error, considering what this entire issue is about.
What is it? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Superboy fighting them.
Oh, shit.
Like this whole thing is sort of to try to
I didn't even notice
explain away how things are how this universe exists without Superboy. And,
oh, no. I never noticed that myself. And the editor didn't catch that? Tom Bierbaum didn't catch that? This is crazy. How'd that happen?
I have no idea. No idea.
Wow.
I mean, I think they've made this mistake a couple of times throughout the run, and I think that's why they sort of retconned him back in a weird way. Like they said, he was on the team for like one day and died. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that either.
If you look in the source book, he's in it. And they say that we don't know much about this guy, but he came, I think, from another Earth, and he was here briefly and died.
Wow.
This mysterious guy named Superboy. It's kind of funny.
So that sounds like they had to or for some reason they felt the need to incorporate the Baxter Death of Superboy storyline into the revised No Superboy timeline.
Right.
Weird.
Like, I think the regime changed over at Superman and they lightened up a little bit, but like his statue is at Shangri-La, like towards the end of the Animan stuff. There's a couple of places where he shows up.
I bet there's some kind of reasoning that the Death of Superboy storyline, since the John Byrne Superman guest starred in it, had to have happened. So they have to shoehorn that in and say, instead of this dude being a member of the team for 20 years, he was a member of the team for 2 days or something like that.
Right, because that universe continued to exist in the Byrne days.
Yeah.
It showed up another time or two. And then by the time you get to the very end, R.J. Brand is trying to pull the Earth from Pocket Earth into our universe to replace the Earth that had blown up. So
crazy.
It kind of boggles the mind how that works in the Glorith timeline, but I don't know.
Yeah, but this one is totally an oversight.
Right. But they would probably, that's how they'd probably explain it. Mm-hmm. This is from that week that he was on the team.
I wonder who this person is back in the very back. They don't even color them. They're just a solid pink. Who is that?
Lightning Lass?
I guess it could be Lightning Lass or Shadow Lass.
I don't know. It actually looks pretty cool the way they did it.
Yeah, I don't know who it would be.
Well, who else like projects anything from their hands?
Well, see, in that story, Shadow Lass is a big player in the first Mordru comic.
Absolutely. That makes sense. And I assume this is sort of redrawn or drawn from another image, based on another image. And that's probably how Superboy ended up in it. I mean, it's very familiar. You know, another oversight that I guess you could sort of blame on the universe rebooting, but the scenes we're seeing closer to the present, like when we get into the Baxter days, I think Ultra Boy should be in his like punk costume by then. Like when I'm pretty sure he's already wearing like a sleeveless shirt when he's like during the conspiracy issues.
Well,
I think he shows up briefly in issue 50, maybe towards the beginning, and he has a sleeveless shirt on.
Yeah, that's probably right. Oh, yeah. So like in this thing earlier in the annual here where Ultra Boy's talking to Saturn Girl and saying don't take him on the mission. Yeah, he probably should have it there, huh?
And then at the end, when she leaves.
Right. After the battle with Glorith and Yeah,
because that's happening in the Gap. So I guess maybe he went back to wearing it.
Yeah.
Cleaned up.
He's wearing like those Legion coveralls eventually. There they both are, right? On the last couple of pages.
He is, but he's back in costume by the time the explosion happens.
Right here on page 51, yeah. To skip way ahead. Yeah, he should be wearing his other outfit. And now this stuff is like Earth War period, I think, on 36 when Ultra Boy goes to do some like diplomatic work and screws it up. You think that's when that happened?
I think so. I thought we're seeing like the Glorith version of a story we never saw to begin with, which was like their first battle with Mordru.
Oh, is that what that was supposed to be?
That can't be right. We have this big panel of them fighting him on page 39, but had that happened?
I don't think they're trying to say one way or the other. He's just talking about how Mordru and Glorith are counterbalancing evil forces.
But this panel isn't actually something happening. It's more like...
No, he's just thinking about them.
Right. So I don't think they've fought him yet. And they're... Like Saturn Girl has decided he's a big enough threat that they're going to attack him, try to take him out, right?
Yeah, that seems like it's, once we get to the page 36, that seems like something that the Legion has on its to-do list is to try and take out Mordru.
Before Ultra Boy sabotages that, prevents that from happening.
Yeah, okay. So this drawing back here on page 34 is sort of a hypothetical what if the Legion and Superboy fought Mordru. But yeah, they haven't fought him yet.
Maybe that makes the Superboy thing make sense. I don't know. Like he's thinking about maybe the Legion exists for a reason. I don't know. Like this is a glimpse of how things really should be, like how they really were.
I guess so.
I don't know. It's kind of a leap. I don't know.
But yeah, maybe you're right that this diplomatic Jaguar court on the planet Grick thing never actually happened in a comic. I was thinking it was part of that Earth War storyline where Mordru shows up at the end.
Well, he could be making the same mistakes here that he does elsewhere with the costumes. But, I mean, by the time you get to Earth War, Phantom Girl's wearing bell-bottoms, for example.
Yeah, the costume things in this comic are kind of fast and loose because, like, this is supposed to be way in the past, but the Shrinking Violet costume is the wrong one, and the Starboy costume is the wrong one.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you are right. I don't know.
But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, this thing with the screwed up diplomatic mission, whether it happens or not, the only reason it's in here is for the writers to explain why the Legionnaires never actually confronted Mordru. And the reason was there was a treaty that precluded them from fighting Mordru, which is like just a kind of a really boring explanation thing that usually is like in a note from the editor. Because,
does this mean they never encountered him? They never fought him? It seems like they had by the time Rock is talking to him in issue 5 or 6 or wherever that is. But it seems like his first appearance, which was actually not the first time they fought him anyway, that whole thing, I don't know how you pull that off without Superboy in it because they go back to Smallville for most of that. So I'm assuming that didn't happen.
Yeah, maybe they were erasing that, like both of those original 2 quote unquote battles with Mordru. Yeah, those have been erased, I guess. And from here on out, we just understand Mordru as a big conqueror who is doing some shit very far from where the Legionnaires would ever bump into him. And also they had a non-aggression treaty where they couldn't fight him, which is pretty weird for a comic book. It's weird because it's boring.
Did we skip Jesus Christ yet? We might have skipped over that. That might have been during the invasion.
Oh yeah, it was when we go back in time. Yeah.
Yeah, on page 22.
Way back.
That seems like such a, I don't know. That seems like the boldest thing I've seen in a comic. Because I remember one in terms of explicit language for an all ages comic. You remember when they run like R-rated movies on national television, like the Monday night movie of the week or whatever, and they're bleeping out bad words. I always remember thinking it was so funny that someone will say "goddamn" and they bleep the "god" part out.
Yeah,
and leave the "damn."
Right.
So it just seems like that's like that's a really bad word if you're using religious names in vain or something.
Yeah, that one's kind of weird. Like, yeah, the goddamn shit. Like, I feel like that was a legit swear word as a kid. Like, if you said goddamn versus just damn it.
Right. You don't think Jesus Christ has that same weight? Like,
it actually has maybe less weight than goddamn it, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see it in comic books too often, Jesus Christ. Or Jesus H. Christ.
That's my favorite. I come from a non-religious home, never had to go to church, but I feel like I could have gotten in trouble for going, Jesus Christ, Mom.
Yeah.
Get off my back. That feels like something only a grown-up could get away with saying.
It is sort of offensive in a way to say Jesus Christ, but yeah, I don't know if they said it on TV or not.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they do now, but
yeah.
It was in the letters page of issue 10 or 11 where somebody was like, you say bastard too often. And like that was worth somebody writing a letter to them to complain.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is different times, but yeah, they went for it. They said Jesus Christ.
I remember thinking like the DC books were so edgy in the 80s because Green Lantern would say damn and hell. We'd never do that over at Marvel. Like, these comics are grown-ups.
Right. Yeah, one of my first comics was that Alan Moore, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow thing, that issue of Superman, and yeah, there's a part where Brainiac, he's like taking control of Lex Luthor out in Antarctica or whatever, and Lex Luthor, he's like, what the hell? And I was like, oh shit, this is really scandalous.
That was one of the first comics you read?
Yeah. It was.
Wow.
I bought it off a newsstand on vacation one summer, I think.
It would have blown my mind if that had been one of the first. I didn't read that till much, much later.
I mean, I read it again recently, like a month ago. It's okay. I mean, as like a capper to that stuff, I think it's great, but like it's just okay.
Was it unsettling as a kid? Like, what does this mean? Is Superman dead?
Yeah, it was weird when Mr. Mixie turns out to be the bad guy, and he turns out to be like an awful demon or something. Because that's
probably part 2, right?
Yeah, I had seen him on like Super Friends, I guess, or on some cartoon where he's really harmless, and then he turns out to be this awful bad guy. So it was a little weird.
Well, yeah, but I think like a lot of characters die in that, right?
Yeah,
a lot of regulars in Superman die horrible deaths in that, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Did Crypto die?
Only Crypto, I think, really made a big impact on me. But
Jimmy Olsen and Perry, did they live?
They all lived, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think all this, like a bunch of the super people died.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the regular people survived. But
and Luther.
Yeah, Luther died in a weird way. But yeah, the saddest thing was Crypto dying. Crypto actually had 2 really sad deaths. Huh? What the fuck?
Yeah, like a year later or whatever. They start over and then they do it to him again.
Yeah, poor guy. He's just too loyal.
He just got turned into a regular dog. Remember that? Because of the gold kryptonite.
Yeah. That was in the Deaths of Superboy, right?
Right. And that's really sad. But then you think, well, at least he can live a dog's life. But then the 3 criminals kill everything on the planet.
Oh, right. So. Yeah. You know he's dead then. Back to the Alan Moore thing. Like I hadn't read enough comics to be too invested in all those people living or dying, I guess. But
yeah, it
was crazy. It was weird. Like just knowing Super Friends, like It was kind of weird. And the part where it's even on the cover, like the part where the Legionnaires say their final farewell or something to Superman. Like I wasn't a Legionnaire fan then, but it did seem sad and final. That was kind of a big thing about it for me.
Was that your first Legion experience?
It must have been. It had to have
been.
First and last for a long time. I didn't read them for a long time after that.
Till Byrne brought him in?
No. Even after that.
Not even then?
No, I didn't start reading until issue 39 of the 5 years later. That's when I really started reading it.
Okay, so it's kind of funny. Sunboy calling him a moron. They're making fun of what an idiot he is.
Yeah, he really goofed, but we know he did it on purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blowing the diplomatic mission.
This entire exchange makes no sense to me. None of it. Between Shrinking Violet and... I mean, what is she? She's saying, well, it's pretty good to have a moron for a boyfriend, or she's envious of him having an idiot boyfriend. And then she has like this sinister smile, like this is going to be fun. Like, I don't get it. Maybe it makes more sense in the context of the other issue. I don't know. Maybe the acting,
the Secret Origins or something. Yeah. So what happens is that all the Legionnaires are leaving the meeting where they've learned that Ultra Boy botched the diplomatic mission. They're saying he's so stupid. I feel sorry for Phantom Girl having to be involved with such a stupid guy.
Right.
And then Shrinking Violet whispers to Phantom Girl, there's more important things in a guy than brains. I just wish I had somebody like Joe wrapped around my finger. I don't know what that means.
Does it just mean like the way Lightning Lass had Timberwolf, like just to have a big dumb oaf that'll do whatever you want them to?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, she could be referring to, the Lightning Lass and Timberwolf relationship. She could be showing some regret for the relationship she used to have with, who was her fucking boyfriend? Colossal Boy or Duplicate Boy or something? Yeah, it still doesn't quite make sense. Like, what's her motivation for saying that she wishes she had a guy like Joe wrapped around her, like a super powerful guy wrapped in her finger? What would that be?
The costume errors really mess this up.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to pin down when this is happening.
Totally.
Because she's a very, very different character by the time she is wearing that costume, right? She's the hardened after being a POW or whatever.
Yeah, I think when this is happening, like let's say it is Earth War, she ought to be probably in the Dave Cockrum costume with the the whatever the lacy stuff, the no skirt. Maybe that's how she should be.
Right. She's in like the Jaime Hernandez look.
Right. She has a drastically different personality anytime you see her in this costume. Mm-hmm. So yeah, don't quite know what she's even talking about. But then Phantom Girl kind of goes with it. And she's like, yeah, this could be real fun. I don't know what that means either.
Oh, I think that I understand that now. She knows it's a charade and she's going to help with the charade. Even though she doesn't know what it's about. So it might blow up in her face when he turns out to be like a manhunter or something. Maybe I shouldn't have been helping you for the fun of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think realistically, a person who, even if she knew that Ultra Boy was faking it and trying to screw up on purpose, she might still feel bad if people are insulting her behind her back or right to her face.
Right. I guess Shrinking Violet's saying that it would be cool that she envies having an idiot boyfriend. That's only happening to create a justification for her to go along with this. Like, yeah, it'll make me look good. It'll make me look like a woman that controls her boyfriend or something.
Oh. I mean, maybe it's a comment on the fact that at this point in the prior to the 80s, prior to her being a girlfriend to one of the other Legionnaires, she was the only single Legion kid. Maybe that's what she's talking about. She's like, I wish I had a romantic partner because all the other Legion girls were invented to be girlfriends for the boys. And I'm still single. I don't have a boyfriend. Maybe that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, it's funny how she's always out. She had to like date outside of the team.
Yeah, she had to go to the Heroes of Lalor in the distant galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she could be referring to something like that, I suppose. Or maybe Phantom Girl says like, maybe she's on to something. Maybe she's right. Maybe Phantom Girl is thinking that Shrinking Violet has somehow figured out that Ultra Boy is faking too. I don't think that's what she said.
I guess what I meant is you mentioned that even if she knew she was in on his little conspiracy, it might not be worth the embarrassment of being with an idiot. But Shrinking Violet makes it seem like, hey, it might actually make me look good to have this idiot boyfriend wrapped around my finger. So I'm not going to lose face being with this dummy.
No, why would it make her look good to have a dumb boyfriend?
Because Shrinking Violet is saying, I wish I had a dumb boyfriend who would do anything I say. Like she makes it seem like that's advantageous. It makes you look cool or like you're a powerful woman. You got this guy doing whatever you want.
Oh yeah, that could be.
So then it gives her a motive for going along with it. Whereas without that dialogue, you're like, why would you want to be with someone who seems like an idiot? Isn't that embarrassing?
Right. Yeah, I guess I get that. Yeah.
All of it seems like just an elaborate way to rationalize.
Right. I mean, well, like that scenario that you just said also kind of works at a cross purpose to the idea that she thinks it's going to be fun to go along with his charade, because that still brings her down to equality with him instead of superiority to him.
Oh, you're right. Like she's a co-conspirator.
Yeah.
Secretly, which is good. But also she doesn't have to worry about the other teammates looking down on her, because if anything, they envy that she has this big hunk dummy who's going to do whatever she tells them to.
Yeah, it's complicated. All right, this next sequence is this is the first time we ever really see Mordru just being himself. Like I mentioned it when in our video where Cosmic Boy is having dinner with Mordru, and we actually see the thoughts, we read the thoughts and the inner life of Mordru a little bit for the first time. In this one, Mordru is like walking around, kind of being real. Like we're not privy to his interior life, but he's kind of opening up to this other guy a little bit and not being straight up evil conqueror for a minute. Right.
It's sort of, we talked a lot about how diminished he seemed in 5 years later. Like he seemed more like a mortal guy, a regular guy, whereas early on he's depicted almost like evil personified, or like the devil or something, not a regular guy. And we were talking about maybe he'd lost some power along the way, but maybe it's just a retcon from the beginning, because this is him presumably early on, and he does not seem like the big scary evil personified. He's a regular guy walking around talking who evidently can't sense Ultra Boy through a fake beard.
Ultra Boy is such a master of disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe all the shit that Jim Shooter talked up about Mordru was all hype. It was all hyperbolic. He's not really as bad as all of that stuff or something.
Something about the balance changing from him and Time Trapper to him and Glorith has somehow changed his makeup. He's not as powerful as he was in the Time Trapper universe.
I guess so. He's kind of boring here anyway, and easily fooled.
So that's a really cool picture of him with all the shadow on his face.
Yeah, right here. That seems like something that was cribbed from those Jim Shooter issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ultra Boy in costume as I don't know, some old broke down guy.
He can sense something about him, enough to fear him, but not enough to realize he's like a 17-year-old with a big beard on. So I think he basically provokes him to attack Glorith, right?
Yeah. He says if you don't attack Glorith now, she'll become too great and she'll be more powerful than you.
Isn't that sort of their function anyway in this universe? They're keeping each other in check. They're the two balances to the universe, the dark and the light or something. Like, why does he need to provoke this when it sort of naturally be happening like it's a life versus death?
I think it's because I think the deal was that if he waits, Glorith actually will be powerful enough.
She'll have time to amass more
kill
power.
Mordru.
Right.
So he wants to get this thing going so they're at a stalemate.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so Mordru is like, I got to check into this. Another rad drawing of Mordru and Glorith fighting. Glorith is fighting like a wild animal, leaping at him or something.
At least she's not kissing him.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing. Did we talk about that? Like all the powerful ladies, their powers are somehow sexualized.
Mm-hmm. No, she's scrapping in this. Like her clothes are torn. Of course, she's still like clawing at him.
Clawing like a cat.
Yeah. Kind of stupid, but it's not the same as kissing him to suck his life force out.
I feel like one of the later issues they are making out though, right?
Well, they fall in love.
Aren't they making out on the cover of one?
Yeah.
That's bad. I mean that's bad for the universe is what I meant.
Right.
That's an interesting development, actually.
Yeah, it's right near the end, right before the 0
Yeah, he gets some work done, I think. Doesn't he make himself younger or something?
Oh, he looks really hot. Like he's got this gray hair, a lot of conditioner, and he's he's like a Silver Fox type of thing going on. No shirt.
His lackey convinces him to leave the hat with the eyeball at home.
Yeah,
on his date. Like we said, it's sort of unclear when this event happens, but we're certainly closer to Earth War by the time we get to Brainiac 5, who has, in my mind, it's been like 10 years or so since Ultra Boy told him his suspicions, and he was completely dismissed. 10 years later, the super genius, it finally hits him like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
At the point in history where he goes nuts, I think he is no longer a teenager for sure. Maybe in his mid-20s, I think. Yeah, and
this explains the reason he went nuts. He went nuts back in Earth War time period, for you and me, the mid-late 1970s comics. And I think they just chalked it up to working too hard or something.
Right. Oh, I think this makes more sense than that. But since the team doesn't know any better and they do think it's just stress, it's kind of ludicrous that they'd keep him on the team in charge of all this dangerous weaponry. He was just stressed out. He can come back to work.
When he finally cracked, they kicked him off the team, right? Like he created Omega, then he went in the padded cell with Mad Reader Lad, right?
Is that a separate incident or is that the same incident?
It's the same. Like they discovered
I feel like he was back on the team pretty quick.
Well, that could be. They discovered that he...
like the next issue.
He killed Anne Ride and framed Ultra Boy, is what they discovered.
Right.
And then he created Omega. I mean, this all took place over from 239 up to 250, which is quite a while, I guess. But conclusion to the Ultra Boy on the Run story from 239 happened in 250 and 251 of Superboy. And that concluded with Omega, which was the embodiment of all the hatred in the universe or some shit like that. And it was created by Brainiac 5. At the end, they locked him up. I don't know how soon after that he returned to the team. I'm not fuzzy on that.
I'm just thinking, like, never mind creating this all-powerful hatred personified thing and betraying the team and all of that business. Just the fact that he killed this one girl. Like, everybody has stressful days and they say things they don't mean or whatever. And it's good to forgive them. Like, he's been working too hard and he murdered somebody.
Well, he murdered somebody in order to pin the crime on one of his teammates.
Right. Take the week off.
They don't have a good HR department at Legion headquarters. Right. It's just Marla. He's stressed too.
Right. Well, he did murder someone for the hell of it because he was stressed out. But he's the only one who knows how to use any of these gadgets.
Right. So he's got the password to the computer.
Right.
Yeah, well, the new explanation is that he figured out the secret to the Glorith Mordru thing, and Glorith made him go crazy.
Real quick, so what separates his revelation from Ultra Boy's? Like, he doesn't seem to be talking out loud here, which is weird because they always did back in the actual 70s and in such a comic. He's actually just thinking all this. Is it that she's reading his computer files?
Yeah, I think he's Google searching it, and she has access to his ISP data collection or something.
I guess that's so, because it says working. I guess that means like it's searching.
Right.
And that's when she's buzzing there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as the computer returns results about this, she pops up with her cheeks hanging out. Yeah. I mean, I like that idea. I like that she has, originally she was wearing like the costume the Dream Girl kind of wore, like just like a one-piece swimsuit, strapless or something.
Right.
We're not going to see it, I guess, and that's how she actually looked in those early appearances. And then, she never actually showed up in the 70s and 80s. But yeah, this is what she would look like. Cockerman Grell would have designed her a costume that's like a bikini with shoulder pads or something.
Oh, I get it. Like, it's era appropriate.
Right.
That makes sense.
This is the one costume memo that got through to Dougie Braithwaite.
Yeah, all the girls are dressed like Vampira.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, here she does her stupid kiss thing again to make him go crazy.
Yeah, but it's pretty... Kiss aside, like, it's a good idea, like how she makes him go crazy. But it also reminds you, like, again, why is Valor not crazy? Because, he's going through eternity, or like experiencing it. I guess the same thing that happened to Jackson Rugarth.
Yeah, she kind of does a Infinite Man type of shit. I guess if she kisses you and like the direction she spins her tongue around your tongue changes, whether it erases your memory and makes you go insane, or if you go into infinite limbo or some shit like that.
And then she has him basically to go after and eliminate anybody who could possibly be onto her. Like this most of their retcons don't make sense. This one actually, like this whole thing with Glorith and Brainiac 5 makes sense of several things that did not make sense in the 70s comic.
Yeah, it helps that shit back then didn't make a lick of sense whatsoever, Like it's good that somebody finally figured that out. And I bet the people writing into Interlac or whatever, they figured this out a long time ago with their theories, and now it's explicit in the comic.
This one seems more justified than Valor being angsty about being put back into the Phantom Zone, so that must have been somebody else. Okay, so anyway,
this is a recap of Superboy 239 when
was his name Steve Apollo, or was it Jim Apollo?
Steve Apollo. Ultra Boy gets framed for the murder of Anne Ride. She showed up at the beginning of this. Now she's been killed by Brainiac 5. Ultra Boy's framed. They're trying to bring him in. This panel of him fighting and escaping. That's pretty cool. He's like, I'm breaking loose.
Yeah.
It's kind of 70s, but kind of good.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know why the flight panel really stands out to me. Probably just because it has a blank background.
Yeah, but they wrap that up real fast. And here's Omega. Here's Karate Kid making a little appearance in this comic.
He uses the Miracle Machine, creates Omega, destroyed by the Miracle Machine. I guess this is the story where Matter Eater Lad eats it, right?
He survives. He eats the Miracle Machine.
Right. Neither of them eat it there.
I think that might be.
Brainy's coming out of it. Thank the rings, he's gonna recover. Doctors think the stress got to me.
What do the police think?
Ultra Boy's standing there like, you just murdered my childhood love. He's just stress. Okay.
No, I mean, I feel really bad about Anne Ride. Like, she got a raw deal. Oh, actually, on the previous page, they also imply that maybe Jack Webb, Chameleon Boy, is also starting to figure this out. He thinks that Brainiac 5 is somebody else.
Is that the Simonson Superman issue on the left side on the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor, trying to create kryptonite, unfortunately succeeds in destroying the only substance on Earth deadly to Superman. But what strange menace has Luthor managed to create through his efforts? A menace that is even more devastating to the Man of Steel.
They didn't end up using that cover. It's just a retelling of Kryptonite Nevermore that's pretty much unnecessary, but the drawings are nice.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
I was saying that seems like maybe Chameleon Boy is also starting to figure this out, but Ultra Boy is the real master detective on the team, not Chameleon Boy.
Oh, right. Because Ultra Boy is actually, he doesn't want him to figure it out because he might get zapped by Glorth as well.
He doesn't really say anything. He says, "Be careful, Chameleon Boy." He says that in his mind, in his caption box. He doesn't really participate in whatever.
He's not the one saying you're crazy, Cam. On the thought bubbles up above, like in the blue bubbles.
Right. I don't know. That's dialogue from the old comic. I don't know who said that. That's a thing that it's sort of a device all the way through this comic to kind of transition from, like, it's sort of vignette kind of storytelling.
Yeah. I think it works pretty well.
It worked. Yeah. Overall, like I think they kind of goofed and always colored them the sort of teal color, so they sort of recede in the background or something, so you don't quite get even reading the whole comic, like you don't always get that we're seeing the transition device here. But yeah, like they have these wiggly word balloons with, like, what would you call it, like sort of disembodied dialogue from either the old comics or
that's the thing I don't like about them. I feel like they should just be in like boxes. When I see these, I think of like Roxas thinking, or like the Time Trapper talking or something. There's something kind of sinister and weird. Yeah,
they do this in the Giffen issues here and there as like when somebody's remembering something, they do it. It'll be a sort of like the word balloon will be sort of a wiggly edge, this lowercase text or something like that.
Yeah.
Just like the context clues you into the idea that this is dialogue that's not happening right now. It's happening either in the recall of the character or something like that. But here it just doesn't fit in quite right.
Right.
Yeah, like reading about this issue, Tom Bierbaum is saying that, like, what did he say? Our reach exceeded our grasp, meaning that they weren't quite good enough to pull off the ideas that they're trying to pull off. And it shows, like, this transition device doesn't always quite work right. And if you're not a longtime reader, I think they don't make much sense at all sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think this comic is flawed in many places, but I don't agree with his own assessment of his work. I think it's a better work for they're trying to be ambitious with it, even if they are not 100% successsul.
I feel like this is not a great comic, but it could have been a much worse comic, I think. Like if they hadn't tried anything, which a lot of annuals are guilty of, like just not doing anything.
I guess I like it in the same way I like a lot of the, like especially like the first few issues of 5 years later, where it is kind of impenetrable and it's a puzzle. Like you really have to like look deeply into it to try to figure out what's going on. Like I can't imagine reading this with zero backstory. You'd be totally lost probably.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth reading.
Right.
like a lot of comics would like asterisk, footnote all this shit.
Right.
And that would make it worse. That would be such a mess.
Yeah, like when we first started reading this and I took notes for it, it's like I felt like every panel you could have so many footnotes.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to cram so much into this, which is ultimately a mistake, but it kind of makes it an interesting puzzle to read. And it kept bringing me back. Like, this is one of the issues I read the most back then, probably because it was one of the least straightforward. So I was constantly trying to decode it.
Like, if you think of issue 1 of 5 Years Later, which has a lot of stuff that needs to be decoded, but it also has a lot of stuff that you kind of have to extrapolate about what might have happened that never was explicit in a comic.
Right.
And you kind of can use your imagination more, or it kind of fires up your imagination a little bit in issue number 1.
Yes, for sure.
And then as a counter to that is this comic, which I guess it's not a mystery exactly. It is more like a puzzle where if you have all the back issues, you can figure it out easy. You know what I mean? Or if you have read all the back issues, it kind of brings it all up and you remember it all. You know? Like, so it's missing a component of the first handful of issues of 5 Years Later, in that there's no mystery to it in a way. It's just all it's all just convolution that you need to untangle. And I guess I'm thinking that maybe that's a little less fun than actually a straight up mystery where you have no idea what's happening. You know, like you have to really have to figure it out.
I guess so. I'm trying to decide whether the series would work as well for me if this issue never existed, or if it was necessary to illuminate some of the goings-ons. I don't know.
Haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's important, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's better than your typical annual. Definitely better than your typical Legion annual, I guess.
I feel like Legion annuals have a pretty good, strong run. There's a couple duds in there.
Yeah, I guess all the bad ones are after this, aren't they?
Well, the Starfinger one's a waste of time, in my opinion. But
I don't even remember it. It's that bad.
It's unmemorable. It's like the 4th annual from Baxter.
Brian Bolland cover, right?
Yeah, it has a fantastic cover, and that's about it. I feel like all the other ones, there's just a long run of, you have those Dark Side, Validus issues, and Laurel Kent, and the Dave Gibbons wedding. I like a lot, probably mostly because of the artwork, and Invisible Kid's first appearance. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, there's some solid ones,
and they feel for the most part like important to the story, the regular series. Which most annuals are like take or leave. Like nothing ever happens in annuals. They're probably written that way on purpose for people who don't have access to them.
This is kind of fun. I do think it's superfluous. Like you didn't really need to have this, but it's a good spotlight issue. You know, like which they've always kind of had a knack for.
I think one of my biggest criticisms of it is that it's Ultra Boy, though, because. As I remember things, I think he was one of the, if not the most popular Legionnaire in the 80s, late 80s and early 90s. Like, he gets a lot of attention. Like, this story would have added a lot to Matter Eater Lad or Chemical King or one of the other characters who might seem uninteresting or undeveloped or unnecessary. Like, one of them could have used this amount of attention. Ultra Boy, he gets the spotlight quite often.
Yeah, you're right. Matter Eater Lad, Tyrock,
Chemical King.
Yeah, Bouncing Boy would have been perfect for this, right?
Yeah, he would have been excellent for this.
Yeah, it's just like you were saying earlier, is like Ultra Boy is somebody's favorite character and they want to make him not be stupid.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, let's get going here. Oh, so now they cut back to the battle between the Baxter era heroes and Glorith in the conspiracy final battle. Laurel Gand roasts Glorith.
Yeah, this is pretty great the way it works out, I think, because obviously we don't have the Infinite Man, but it's this flashback has distracted her and left her vulnerable to Laurel ambushing her. like I said before, in a way, it's almost Andromeda or L'Orelle sort of is the infinite man in this story. She's the one who ends up taking him down. And she's there in his place, sort of.
Right. It's like a real scaled down kind of version of the, like before it was like these two big forces of nature, Infinite Man and Time Trapper, doing some kind of crazy, swirly artwork type of shit, probably. And here it's just a superhuman person punching out Glorith with a sucker punch. In a funny panel, even like where Laurel Gann hits her, and then all you see is Glorith's like feet flying out of the panel, like a plop take almost.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
I guess in the next panel, though, is Laurel Kent like beating the shit out of Glorith, and there's like blood flying.
So is a lightning bolt, is it like a Shazam kind of thing? She just got hit by lightning and it teleported her away? Yeah, it must be, because she says she's retreating to the time stream.
Yeah, I think that lightning bolt must be coming out of Glorith, right?
Oh, I think it's hitting her. I don't know. Like maybe
like where's
like Shazam or something.
Where's it coming from? Rock of Eternity?
Magic Sky. Magic Sky. Like, I guess it could be going outward, but...
I mean, I think there's, like, you see Laurel Gann sort of, like, recoiling, you know?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So I think Glorith is blowing up, maybe. Mm-hmm. But it does look like she's being struck by lightning, and the sound effect of the crack makes you think she's getting struck by lightning. But yeah, the next panel, she's in, like, all white void. And yeah, she's going through her Iron Curtain of Time, I guess. I don't know.
This is like some sort of aftershock from the other time displacement. Isn't that what the barrier is supposed to be? There's some sort of like the Iron Curtain is like a side effect, a backfire from the other time displacing she did. And here she chooses to direct it to aim it at Phantom Girl.
Yeah, the power field of the Iron Curtain of Time is it's the opposite reaction to the event that brought Brand from the past into the 30th century. It's out there a month from now as the Iron Curtain of Time, just waiting to be enacted in reciprocal measure of disturbance to that earlier one from 50 years ago, I guess, is what they're trying to say. And so she gets her idea when she's escaping.
Right. One unfortunate thing about the placement of this annual is it confused me at the time, because the issue right before this, I think, is the one where Ultra Boy gets displaced in time. So for a while, I mixed these up. Like, I thought that there was some connection there where there's no connection whatsoever. Like she's talking about right here, sending him like maybe to another time, the fate worse than death. But no, just a coincidence. Not at all related to him getting zapped back to Dr. Fate's time, which is happening right this moment in the comic. The regular comic.
Ultra Boy time travel thing, you totally would think that it was linked into the Glorith stuff, one way or the other, whether it tied into this annual or it's her trying to hurt him or coming back from wherever she was. Doesn't wind up that way. Totally a blind alley story.
There's a Matter Eater lad on the team.
Making some stupid joke.
I guess he's suiting up for the funeral. Or no, they're not at a funeral. Well, they're in Shangri-La.
Yeah, they're at Duo Damsel's funeral, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, I think these panels on the bottom of page 51 are here. The dialogue explains that Largand, his fate isn't the same now as it was in issue 50 of the Baxter, but Duo Damsel's fate is the same. That one of her bodies was killed and there's only one left now.
He doesn't die during the Magic Wars. He is resurrected by Time Trapper and doesn't battle him to the death. He just gets better. Somehow he gets younger.
Yeah. All the stuff that happened to Mon-El Largand between issue 50, 51 of the Baxter and issue 4 of 5 years later actually didn't happen that way.
I don't understand how the other personality did that, but whatever. I could sort of see if they like threw him in the sun or something. Maybe that would, because in Dark Knight Returns, Superman's super annuated, like he's really old and shriveled up. Do you remember that?
Kinda, yeah.
Like he gets hit by a nuclear missile or something, and he gets hit by lightning, and he looks all scrawny and zombified. But then he's able to like suck the sunlight out of the plant life or something, and it somehow makes him young and strong again.
You think that Mon-El should have done something like that?
Right, because his powers work the same way, you would think. Of course, why didn't they do that the last time either? They should have just got him close to the sun.
I mean, it must tie in somehow to the earlier Glorith appearance where she turns them all into babies, you know?
In a way, this makes more sense than what Giffen did, even with Time Trapper, because his power is time.
Yeah.
Instead of like just burning him up real bad, like if he's super aged, how do you fix that?
Yeah, it is a lot cleverer scenario, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they even quite explained what happened to him in the original version. He just got fucked up by Time Trapper.
He looked like he'd been scalded by hot water.
Yeah,
or
he looked all burned up,
red and swollen. Well, anyway, we're back to Earth. They are in their jumpsuits and they decide to get married officially, I guess.
Yeah, this is sometime. I think this must have happened
during the gap.
Yeah, after the conclusion of the Baxter series, the 1984 Paul Levitt's guided Legion series.
Sweet.
Oh, I wanted to point out their weird Legion coveralls that they're wearing on page 52. That nobody ever wore that stuff before. Like just a onesie zip up with a Legion logo on the left shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is what it looks like when they take off all their gear in those new Giffen costumes, maybe.
I think they're wearing their snowsuits because they're out in the snow.
Oh, you think they're snowsuits?
About to go sledding.
Yeah, okay.
It's sad that even 1,000 years from now, we'll be wasting money and resources and stupid diamond.
Oh, yeah. And this is like the worst looking, chunkiest, irregular stone ever.
He used his ultra strength and tried to smash some coal and didn't do a very good job.
Still got some coal in there, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they start just telegraphing this shit we already know about Phantom Girl dying, quote unquote, dying or disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these couple of pages, the part where Glorith is like, oh, I'm going to use this Iron Curtain of Time to get my revenge, but not on Ultra Boy, on someone else. And we're supposed to be like, I wonder who that is. But we already know, because this is something that was kind of revealed to us in motherfucking issue 2 of 5 years later. It's not a secret. We know it's going to be Phantom Girl getting fucked up by Glorith.
Mm-hmm.
So they spend about 2 or 3 pages on this as if it's going to be a surprise. I was a little disappointed by that.
It's kind of messed up, though. I mean, he's looking right at her waving when she gets blown up. And, of course, they screw up real bad because they make a critical coloring mistake. By coloring Brainiac 5 Caucasian, it makes you think it's Ultra Boy shouting now.
Yeah, that is a critical error. Yeah, it's supposed to be this sort of overlapping of Brainiac 5 watching the time disturbance occurring, and he's like, here it comes. It's about to hit. It's going to happen now. And, it's colored wrong.
But instead, it looks like he's just maybe Ultra Boy blew her up.
Right.
This is my bomb's about to go off now. Or he's saying, no. Or maybe he's saying now, and then he's using his penetrative vision. We're seeing him from the back there blasting the ship.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, does seem like he's somehow responsible for this. At the Big Zittle arrival terminal, private charter from Big Zittle now arriving. Phantom Girl never used to have to fly in from Big Zittle.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't really see space there. Like, maybe it's some weird ship that travels into the other dimension. And again, like we said, we don't know that they're even on Earth here.
Yeah, it could be that some ship phased in from Big Zittle out into deep space and then flew to wherever Ultra Boy is. I guess that must be how it works out.
Mm-hmm.
Her Phantom Girl ship gets blown up. Ultra Boy is like, shit, I forgot.
Bloody liberty.
I forgot the third rule of the streets. I let my guard down, and my fiance got blown up to smithereens.
Mm-hmm. And then for some reason she's not on Shangri-La, or maybe this is a very different part of Shangri-La, or she's buried? She's got 2 markers.
Yeah, she must have multiple markers. I feel like this text on the marker that says "No Legionnaire served more honorably," etc.
Kind of a diss on the other guys. What are you trying to say? Like the rest of them?
What about Chemical King?
Right.
I feel like they showed that in issue 1 or 2 or something, that same text. But yeah, here it is, just on a giant headstone in a nondescript grassy place.
That's the weird thing about Shangri-La. Like, it looks like a fucking asteroid. Like, you think they'd have some flowers and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you bring out your flowers to a Shangri-La,
they just float up.
Well, yeah, they, because of the ice of space or whatever, they either float away or they wither away instantly or something, you know?
I think they'd have some alien grass or some atmosphere, fake atmosphere.
Yeah, on the prison planet. I mean, the funeral planet.
It looks like a prison planet.
They would have to have some kind of a atmosphere. Is it magnetosphere?
I'm definitely on Team Magneto, not Magneto, but Magnetosphere.
Phantom Girl's dead by the end of this. The end.
Rest in power.
Rest in Phantom. R.I.P.
Yeah, that annual should have been about Bouncing Boy. And maybe whatever secret knowledge he had is why he was all right with his wife going on that suicide mission.
Yeah, that's a good link up there. That's a good idea.
3 rules of bouncing.
Yeah, he was a gang member on his home planet.
Yeah.
Whatever planet he's from. Probably to Earth.
He's from Earth, I think.
I remember that, like, the vision of Ultra Boy as, like, the Han Solo smuggler character, that came from Al Gordon. And I guess it's kind of unusual, or strikes me kind of strange, that Gordon didn't have any hand in this story at all. Like, he didn't, I guess, must not have cared about the past of Ultra Boy. All he was thinking about is, like, what to do with this guy as we go on. He's a smuggler. He's got a ponytail. He has his network of operatives and shit like that.
Yeah. To some extent, they're at cross purposes, because nothing about this really reinforces that. They're not, like, adding anything to his backstory to further validate his pirateness.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he goes back to Rimbor, but he's not doing a legitimate business back on Rimbor. I don't think maybe he's more like a anti-establishment, or he's like the activist smuggler or something, you know?
Well, it's kind of a nicely thought out setup, because the establishment is so clearly fucked there. Like, being a criminal is heroic, because the corporations are running, kind of like here.
Right.
Maybe worse, but worse. Like us in a couple more years.
Yeah.
They really should have taken that further.
Legion of Superheroes Annual. This is the second Legion Annual, number 1 we've talked about. There's still probably 1 or 2 more to go. Legion number 1 annuals. LLL.
LLL. Until next time.
See you in 365 days, Legionnaires.